Hello! Welcome to Rogues and Romances, a twice-rolled tale production. I'm Linnie Schell, I'll be your keeper for the evening. We're playing Call of Cthulhu Regency, although we're eschewing some of the more traditional Cthulhu elements in favor of the investigation, murder mystery elements. I'm playing with some lovely players who will briefly introduce themselves.
I'm Elliot Davis, and I'm playing Bones.
Hi, I'm Rowan McStay, playing Lenora Blackwell.
I'm Phoebe Zimmerer, playing Anne Waldron.
I'm Jasmin Malave, playing Sally Gibbs, aka Mary Gilbert.
You guys have just narrowly escaped death by chandelier, and perhaps death by frightening specter, although maybe not. It was real, was it? We'll find out. It probably was not real. Unless. News has spread throughout the community. Did any of you do anything before you went to bed?
I think Bones probably walked in and called Zach out.
Yeah. So you walk back to the Willoughby Colt residence.
Yeah. Is Zachary awake?
Zachary is in his bed pretending to be asleep.
I think I tell Jessica everything on the carriage ride home, and then I say, "Shall we give the boy a fright?"
Shall we?
And I think we go upstairs, and Bones bangs on the door, and what would be the equivalent of, like, cops at this time?
Oh, we should talk about that. There weren't any.
There weren't any.
So essentially, broad strokes here. If the community wanted someone punished legally, they had to enact a community justice, essentially, of finding the person, voting on whether they were guilty.
Interesting.
And then if they were guilty, there was kind of a traveling magistrate that would come through every, 3 months.
Copy.
And you put them in arrears. Or they could be remanded to jail or to the king's custody.
Copy.
In your case, the gentlefolk, the gentry would have to come together, decide he was guilty, hold the party until they could alert the king, and or wait for the traveling magistrate.
Okay. So I think Bones goes up to the door and he bangs on it and he says, "Zachary, the Fentons are downstairs. They have some questions for you."
You hear the sound of someone falling out of bed in a panic. Mr. Horsefinder!
Yes. Bones will do.
Bones! I've just been asleep this whole time. What's going on? What do they want?
Yes, they have a few questions about where you've been this evening, what you've been up to.
Well,
Yes.
I've been here, just asleep. Not much to do.
Why don't you come out into the hall and we
He
can...
cracks the door. He's like...
As soon as he cracks the door, Bones leans in and goes, "Boo!"
Zachary leans over and he can see Jessica kind of posted up against the wall, and he's like, "The Fentons aren't here.
No.
I'm taking it."
No. But you were there. I'm taking it.
If I was, I certainly wouldn't tell anyone about it.
No, neither would I.
But maybe. I could allow, possibly.
And your accomplice was...
Oh, it was just me.
Do I believe that?
Yeah, give me psychology.
Absolutely, is it, babe? Oh, it's a 13, guys!
There you
I'm
go.
spending luck. I'm gonna just get through my limited meta resource. That's a 10, yeah.
Yeah, he's telling the truth.
Interesting.
Completely telling the truth.
What was the specter that you dragged across the yard?
I think you'll appreciate. It was one of Uncle's old nightshirts. I'd sort of mocked up. I mean, you know Uncle. He practical joker, machinist, tinkerer.
Loved police. Police.
Oh, police. I thought you
Police.
said police.
Not police. I wouldn't know what that word meant.
It doesn't exist. It came over from the French later. Yes, I mean, levers of all kinds.
Levers, yes. Wedges, simple tools. Simple machines. That's what those are called.
Well, and, I mean, you can't tell my mother. Absolutely cannot tell her.
So she wasn't there. No accomplice.
Why do you keep thinking there was an accomplice?
Well, young Zachary, there were 2 incidents this evening in remarkable similar timing.
I didn't have anything to do with the chandelier.
Oh, so you know about the show.
I was hiding in the bushes as the banner caught fire. I thought it was funny, but no one died, as far as I can tell. So
Hubert Fenton did get most of his bottom half singed.
See?
Delightful.
I didn't do it, though.
No.
Just,
What was your aim?
well... I'm not mad that I didn't inherit. This is a lie. Clearly false. I am... It just doesn't seem fair that they were able to kick us out, claim that they were family, inherit our property, our estate, and then kick us out. And I thought that it was only deserved that the ball that they were trying to put on was haunted by the specter of what they had done to us. It's sort of a, metaphysical justice.
Sure. I can appreciate that. But do you have evidence of their wrongdoing?
Wrongdoing?
What are you getting at?
He's very confused.
So you were just pulling a prank.
Metaphysical justice. You can
Right.
see Jessica from the court say, metaphysical justice, Bones, please, get it right.
My apologies, Jessica. So you don't know anything. You were just being a little trickster.
I feel like you're trying to accuse me of something.
I'm
so I have to
hoping you
say-
can help, Zachary.
Help with what?
Your uncle was murdered.
What?
More than likely.
I'm sorry.
You didn't. This is the first you're hearing of this.
Jessica's making throat cutting motions behind you.
Go to bed, Zachary.
Now, Mr. Bones,
Yes.
with all due respect.
No.
Okay? With no respect,
Perfect.
no. You've just told me my beloved uncle was murdered.
Well, fair.
That I should go back to sleep.
Yes. Well. Did you have any plans for evening 2 of trickery and subterfuge and, what was it, metaphysical justice?
I hadn't really expected the chandelier to fall down, so I was hoping to really milk more of the
specter was going to get more mileage, yes.
So maybe he was going to return, and I thought the third night I would sneak in and, move stuff around.
Gotta think bigger. Much bigger.
Open to suggestions.
Sure, we'll think on
But,
that.
oh, no, sorry. Murder.
Murder.
My uncle was murdered.
Murder,
This is
murder.
more important.
Also, the chandelier.
Yes.
You don't know who could have done that. Only, as far as I'm concerned, only you, Jessica, and Rebecca know where the secret buttons of Boltus are.
Zachary looks over at Jessica and says, "You told them about the buttons?" She's like, it's fine. Yes, but we didn't do it.
But did you tell it?
Who would I tell?
That's exactly what I'd like to know.
No.
I might have use of you as a distraction tomorrow night.
I think you were laboring under the misapprehension that I'm going to go away quietly.
What are you gonna do about it?
Follow you until you tell me what's going on!
I don't know what's going on,
Why
Zachary!
do you think my uncle was
Let's go
murdered?
downstairs and read these goddamn letters.
You have letters?
Several. I stole them from your uncle's study. Come downstairs. You want a drink?
Yes.
Yes, you're old enough. This is the 16, 18, whatever hundreds.
He's 20. He's
Oh,
he's
yeah,
of,
we all
he's of
drink.
age. Yeah,
Yes.
this is fine. This noise.
Oh my god.
You gotta
I
break it.
fucked it up big time.
That's so Bones, though, to just be like, yeah, what's in here?
Meta knowledge. They are dated.
This is Bones functionally reading aloud too.
Yeah.
And these are in order on that.
They're in order
I'm
on
sorted.
this.
Okay.
So this is January 2nd. Dear Bones, you wouldn't believe who showed up at my door yesterday. Jessica, Rebecca, and Zachary and I were sitting down for a lovely afternoon tea when the Hillgroves, Mr., Mrs., and the whole pack of unmarried ones showed up at the door. She, you know which one I mean, had the audacity to claim that they had sent word ahead and the letter must have gotten lost. I think we both know that this must be a falsehood, for I would never have consented to receive them if they had applied for hospitality in the usual fashion. Of course, Rebecca wouldn't stand to see them sent away, no matter how much they have richly deserved it. This has stiffened my resolve that I must finish the tiger trap at the front door. One cold night under the trapdoor will most absurdly cure them of every desire to intrude thusly again. Rebecca would frown to hear me say so, but know that you would appreciate the work I've put into booby-trapping the place recently. Hopefully this will all be over soon. BW. So there's a trapdoor maybe near the front door. Good to know, for sure. January 9th. My dear Bones. At last, we got to the meat of why my odious relations descended upon me in the first place. Patty, the insufferable harridan, tried to convince me that the inheritance laws are a complete shame and that the entailment on the estate prevents me from doing as I wish with Redworth. As what I wish to do with Redworth is to die happy and have it be passed to my dear grandnephew. Many years hence, I informed her that the king's laws suited me quite well, and furthermore protected me from the grasping hands of tenuous relations such as herself. She then proceeded to display an incredible lack of tact, and more unforgivably, a complete lack of understanding as to the exact nature of the law to which myself and Redworth were bound. She applied to me many solutions that, aside from me being patently intractable, would have had the effect of dividing the estate much more in her family's favor upon my death, and otherwise advantaging them at the expense of Zachary. Finally, and those appeals proved fruitless, I lost track. At the expense of Zachary, finally, and those appeals proved fruitless, she which even I had found passably tolerable completely flew in the face of the extreme familiar ties she had been so ardently protesting not moments before. I know that things are done differently when one owns such an estate as Redworth, but really there must be limits. I've invited them to leave with all haste, and she had the audacity to accuse me of being uncourteous. They will depart at first light to Oxfordshire, not a moment too soon.
Yeah, so I think I might have messed up. So she's proposing a match between one of her daughters and Zachary.
I did assume that.
I did not.
I don't know if that got lost in
Oh, yes. That was the sentence I got a little caught up on.
There was maybe a lot.
And those appeals proved fruitless. She attempted to solicit the hand in marriage of Zachary to one of her unwed daughters, yes.
She's like, oh, we're family! But do you want to get married instead?
Weird. January 10th, a shorter one. Well, they're off. They tried to extend their stay by complaining of one or more maladies, but I wouldn't hear of another delay. I suppose that makes me the curmudgeon, but bah, so be it, I say. Apparently Anarchy and the youngest Hillgrove got into a bit of a scuffle. Is Anarchy?
That's supposed to be Zachary.
Oh, okay. Apparently Zachary and the youngest Hillgrove got into a bit of a scuffle. The stabbing. Zachary is remaining tight-lipped, but I'm sure I'll get it out of him eventually. I must cut this short as I've started to feel a touch unwell. More to tell you when I'm feeling better. It better not be another one of those blasted fevers. So he starts feeling sick the day they leave. Mm-hmm. January 15th, this is the scribed letter. Dear Bones, apologies for the delay. Continuing to feel quite poorly. The staff have been wonderful as always, and I've nothing to complain of. Really, I'm not sure why I'm dictating this letter. It's not as if you would notice any real delay on my end. You'll probably receive all of these at once and call me quite silly for wasting my strength. Very sad. January 20th. Dear Bones, I've got a bit of my strength back. I'm afraid I can't say the same for poor Jonathan. We did all that we could, and Dr. Brown truly worked his utmost, but to no avail.
And Jonathan is the person who scribed the last letter.
This would be the clerk.
Who scribed the last one? Wow.
Wait, so Jonathan...
Jonathan, he passed sometime in the night. It seems so cruel that I should survive in the twilight of my years while a young man so full of life should be so cruelly struck down. Thus far, only he and I have been affected. I've kept Jessica, Rebecca, and Zachary, as well as the rest of staff, away from us in the hope that they might be spared. Good Mr. Gower has refused to leave my side, and God be good has so far been spared. But I fear if someone as young and healthy as Mr. Applewood can be so quickly struck down in his prime, then no one is safe. Woo! And that's the last one addressed from Bolter, and then the final one from Mr. Gowan says, Mr. Horsefinder, unfortunately Mr. Willoughby has taken a turn for the worse. He asked me not to write to you as you are surely too far away to make any appreciable difference. Still, I cannot help but hope. Mr. Willoughby is strong, and I trust that this will not be the malady that claims his life after he survived so much. Thankfully, no one else in the household has been further affected. Of course, we thank God, but even Mr. Willoughby has remarked that it is passing strange. I will continue to tend him as long as I am able. I write this in the hope that you've come across something in your travels that could aid us, or if the worst comes to pass, that you will be able to enact yet another miracle journey to reach the bedside of a friend before it is too late. I think that one really hurts Bones. That he didn't make a miraculous return in time to say goodbye to his friend.
Quick question on the letters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you, the actual ones, would you just like take a peek at like the wax seals or anything else that could be different? I noticed that the colors are a little different, and I'm just being...
Well, they're written in different handwriting because
They
they're
are
written
in
by
different
different people.
handwriting.
That's why I'm like, if there's anything especially about the January 15th one.
That's the
Are
scribe
you
one.
noticing something?
Well, I'm having thoughts about what I think, how I think that these two were the most sick, if they're being separate, and wondering if there's any sort of thing we can find on the letter. Some sort of like, I don't know.
Can I smell these
Poison.
letters?
Yeah,
Do they smell acrid and herbal and
they do.
medicine?
Oh,
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
There you go.
See, I'm like, these letters are stressing me out now because I don't want you to touch them anymore.
Oh,
That's why I was getting really upset with the.
Yeah, you want to give me a Constitution check?
Oh, God damn it.
Who gave them to you again?
I found them in the secret study that the Fentons are not supposed to know about. There's so many questions like, why did this batch never make it out to me?
Oh, God.
Why do they smell fucking acrid?
Yeah, do you want to give
Constitution.
give me a Constitution, and then you three aren't here.
Yeah, I know.
Describe the smell when we were in the room.
And describe the smell.
Okay.
Nope. That's an 86.
Yeah, so it smells. You recognize the smell. You know how Bolter sends out his batch letters, so it's not crazy to you that these letters weren't that these letters were collected, and you're wondering what was the missing link, right? So it's like usually Bolton will write his letters.
There's also not a final letter. There's not like a Bolter is dead letter. Or I guess I got that
that
from
from Jessica.
But where's Mr. Gower?
Yeah, is he okay?
You know, like is
So-
he alive?
That's something you definitely could find. Where are you when you're reading these letters?
I'm with Zachary and Jessica, like in their like parlor. Like,
Jessica grabs the letter from Mr. Gower and says, Jonathan Bolter were not the only ones to die. He died shortly.
Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower died shortly after Bolter did.
Fuck
We
off.
just assumed it was...
Wait. So everybody who died used Bolter's ink.
Or something in. Yeah, that's what
They
I was
all
thinking when
they
we were
all
reading them.
wrote letters.
Yeah.
So they either all used his wax or they all
Yeah.
used his ink. Woo! I think as soon as like Bones starts to put the smell together, like grabs out of Jessica's hand and like pulls a handkerchief out and like wraps these up and is like, no one is to touch these again until we can figure out what's going on.
So do you think...
I think there might be some connection between something about these letters, whether the paper or the ink or the wax, and people who have died, because the three people who died are the three people who have written and sealed these letters.
She goes over and washes her
Yeah, we
hand
should
in a
wash up.
Yeah, with a Constitution check fail, you feel a little dizzy. You don't think there's permanent damage.
Right.
But you feel...
It's not the same as what dealing with the wet version of whatever is the offending material. I think Bones gets really shooken up by the last letter about not making it home and maybe just excuses himself from continuing to talk to Jessica and Zachary about it. Says, we're not touching these. I need to think. I need to sleep.
Tomorrow. I'll be having a conversation with Zachary on how to properly enact a metaphysical justice initiative. It's really, I feel like Bolter should have taught him better.
You would think. And Jessica, maybe have some
Fine. I am doing great.
Yes.
I mean, no, I am not doing great. This is all bad
This is
and
all very upsetting.
Very
Yes.
upsetting.
Yes.
But we'll feel worse in the morning. That's for sure. So she lets you head off. Okay, so you guys all wake up. You and just you actually receive a letter, and then also the same postman that delivers this also delivers another letter to Frank Gilbert from the Fentons saying how terribly sorry they were for the disaster of the last ball, and that instead of the diamond ball, it shall be renamed the shattered glass ball to celebrate mending and new beginnings out of the ashes of catastrophe.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Shattered crystal.
I had woken up early. I think my intention was to wake up early and write. I think it's going to be useful to us to get in good with the Fentons. So, and I'm realizing like I already put out one of them. Isabella is really enamored with Leighton. Like our family has sort of ingratiated ourselves with the Fentons a little bit. So I had already written in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to write something to the effect of like, terribly sorry about everything that happened last night. I hope everyone's recovering well. Simply can't wait to continue attending the ball. You've all been such gracious hosts. Sincerely, Leighton Blackwell. And write that out. And then I've also written a letter from Leighton to Hester, being like, it was so wonderful, like, dancing the night away with you. I can't wait to continue talking to you and catching up and everything. And so I think I send these, after informing Leighton what letters he sent, I attach these, give them back to the person who delivered. Say, would you mind terribly bringing this back to the Fentons? Thank you so much.
Of course.
And then comes back in and is, like, rabidly, like, after smelling what we smelled yesterday, I think she had just written the Poisoner's Hat Pin. That was like the last thing that they released. And I think on that, she is like back thinking into like research that she's done for poisoning on like what that smell might have been. And like anything like herbally or whatever that she might have like known or learned or be able to look up. I think it's like research mode. Yeah,
absolutely. Give me a education roll for just how quickly you're able to find information.
Right. Okay, that's a success.
Yeah, so there's a lot of natural poisons, but you don't, like, one of the most common would be arsenic, or maybe like mercury poisoning, something like that would be more touch-based, but they don't really have the same sense. And you're thinking this might be hemlock, which is a flowering... It's not an herb, but it looks like a Queen's Anlace or wild carrot. It's not native to England necessarily, but has spread throughout England, so to be growing quite common. It wouldn't be in maybe a manicured garden, but it wouldn't be crazy to see it growing kind of in like a wildflower garden area. Like wildflowers, that's sort of its area.
So yeah, I mean, I think she's just combing through stuff for like what a kind of like accurate herbal smell might be.
Yeah. And then, you know that Bolter died what they would consider like a natural death.
Yes.
And so you know that hemlock has more of those symptoms rather than something like mercury, which has symptoms of madness and other less natural causes.
Great. Okay.
Leighton comes out at some point, like, draped in a blanket, like, kind of over his head, complete disarray. When you told him that you were sending letters, he's like, it's not worth trying to stop you, because I would have to move and engage with the day.
No, certainly not. I mean, you will have to speak with Hester for the rest of the time. Until you find what the note says, Hester will be your date on this dance. As long as you're fine with that. Is that...
This book's going to sell?
Yes.
And then I am going to the riverside, where no one knows me, and I will dance with pretty people.
Yes.
And they will not ask me questions about your books. And you will pay for all of it with the proceeds of this book, which have to be good.
Of course, darling, it would be amazing. I mean,
I do not appreciate suffering for your art.
And how you suffer so.
Glad you understand where I'm coming from.
You know, it was quite curious. Mr. Bones yesterday, strange thing he did. He asked me for my opinion on something.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. And then when I told him, he listened.
Very strange man.
Isn't it just? Do you think he's on to us?
No, of course not. No one's ever noticed.
Yeah, we've been quite clever about it, haven't we? Anyway, it's just odd.
He goes back to sleep.
Just musing on why someone would pay
Why would
attention
he
to what
do
I
that?
say.
It's
Why would
so
he care what I have to say?
Great. Yeah, so you have info. What do you guys do when you wake up? So you've intercepted this note.
Yes.
I'm gonna roll a constitution check for Frank, see how he's doing. Not great. Of all the hungover people in this town, he may be the most hungover. It's unclear whether or not he's gonna make it to the ball tonight. He might, though. Like, he's not dead. I think he'll probably come out at some point and request. So he requested, like, breakfast in bed, kind of, but he'll probably come out later in the day and have more water wherever from them.
Great. I picked this on the way in last night. Is that what I did?
So the footman came to deliver letters to the inn and was just like, here are all the letters for people at the inn.
Great.
And you saw the Miss Gilbert and you're like,
I'll take this. So
Yeah.
Yes, no
I'll
problem.
figure out who this is.
Okay, everyone can hear this. Dear Miss Gilbert, I wanted to thank you for the unexpected pleasure of your company, even with the tumultuous events of this evening. If it would not be too forward of me, I would like to request the pleasure of the first dance this evening. Enchanted, Leopold. Enchanted!
Oh, and
And she reads this and she's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I would dance. Okay, I'm just gonna curl up in bed and put this in the pillow. Oh no.
What's Anne up to?
Eager for some alone time after all of the people that she had to be around last night. And she puts on a good walking skirt and hat and goes out for a walk in the countryside and is just going to keep an eye out, or more specifically, a nose out for that smell. If she, among any of the plants or people's gardens.
Give me a natural worlds or an intelligence check. Do you have natural worlds?
I don't think so. No. But
Yeah.
okay.
I think like a hard intelligence check
Hard
or
intelligence.
just a regular natural worlds.
That's a crit fail.
Yeah, you do some really pretty wildflowers, and it kind of smells the same. They're really lovely. Yeah, I just think these would be maybe this is someone's like perfume that they like. You know, it's reminds them of the flowers, and it's their own thing.
Probably
Perfume's
making
weird.
something out of nothing.
Yeah.
He goes home and agonizes over which of the dresses that she does not own she will put at risk tonight.
Your aunt comes in with a cup of tea. It's like, Anne, how are you doing? I heard. I mean, you're obviously okay. That the Potts sent John over, and he said that you were quite heroic, and everyone noticed, and that was. But also, I really would prefer that your reputation not come at the expense of your life.
All paid off. I'm sorry.
You okay? I don't want to pry, but I did hear that the Hargroves made an unexpected appearance.
Yes, and I cannot admit that it was my most eloquent moment, but I think I managed to successfully evade them for the rest of the evening afterwards, so
Good. That's good. Then everything got set on fire, so people probably forgot all about it.
Honestly, every time an insane thing would happen, all I felt was such massive relief that focus wasn't on me.
You don't have to go back. You know, no one would blame anyone for not wanting to attend to the other 2 days.
I think she does genuinely consider that for a second. But at the same time, it's not only the last night was not only the town's biggest distraction from her. It's also been her biggest distraction from her in a long time. Yeah, I think I will see it through, you know? I feel like if I can get through these next 2 nights, then I will be that much stronger and better off for it.
Chin up.
Stiff upper lip.
Okay. You change your mind? I shall not judge. But I believe that you will do whatever you set out to do. You're a remarkably strong young woman.
Thank you. Which of these dresses do you think for the night?
Ooh. I mean, they're all lovely. You can't go wrong. But it is diamond? Is there a shiny
I believe
one?
so. I believe so.
The pot said it was a redoing, a shattered crystal.
Oh, goodness. I suppose
You could just wear the same one and say rebirth. Maybe conversation style. No, seriously,
No. Would certainly be a bit out of pocket to appear in the same dress twice.
Out of pocket. Phrase.
Just came to me. I figure if Shakespeare can make up however many words he likes, then why can't I?
Absolutely no reason.
And
Women can be fine writers.
exactly. It's a shame there's not more of them.
Darn shame.
I'm going to just grab one of the dresses and assume that Mary will have a fun accessory for me to wear tonight as well.
Great. Incredible. Bones, yeah, you wake up.
Also, Bones did not sleep well because he went to his room and tied a handkerchief around his face and looked at these letters for hours.
Give me a constitution check.
Oh, Bones. Sweet baby Bones.
Because he protected his face, could I have a minute?
I don't think that's what
No.
you needed to be protecting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
That's an 11.
Yeah!
That's actually a critical success for my con.
An extreme success?
Yeah, extreme
Wow.
success, that's the one.
Wow, yeah, Bones, hardened by life.
Bones
are-
has experienced lots of tropical maladies.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I guess, is there anything else that catches me? Maybe like I've been like rereading them and like nothing.
you probably want to go interrogate Zachary over what happened.
Yeah, that's true.
That's-
Are there any servants? I think I would ask Jessica if there are any servants who are alive
Mhm.
and able to be contacted
So
that
yeah,
were in the house.
she would tell you most of them have been dismissed and are like you could
Employed
go get
by
them,
other
but
manors.
they're with it. They're not nearby.
Fair.
She says that the cook is still here.
Same cook in the same house?
Yeah, so they kept on Dorothea Chesterton, who is the housekeeper, because good housekeepers are really hard to find, and she was quite excellent,
Okay.
and so that they kept her on. But most of the other staff was dismissed in favor of the Fentons bringing along their own staff.
So yeah, I guess ask Zachary. We don't necessarily need to do that conversation if you want to keep things moving. I think
Yeah.
we can just kind of get the gist.
Yeah, essentially Zachary is a little reticent to say what happened.
Mm.
Quentin's interpretation is that, of course, Quentin boldly defended himself against Zachary, and Zachary says, "Look, I may have made a slightly indecorous comment about his sisters, to which Mr. Quentin took offense and said something completely unpardonable about, my mother, his half-sister.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of honor, I challenged him to a duel, and he ran away like a frightened toddler."
That's what Zachary says about Quentin.
Says about that interaction.
Copy.
Um,
And I believe that.
I think you believe everything except the comment about his sisters being slightly indecorous. It
Oh, it's
it probably is probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
Can you remind me? I think my brain just connected something that might be connected. Can you remind me what Jonathan Applewood was to?
This was the question I wanted to ask. Thank you. Does that ring a bell as Hester's potential love interest?
Yeah.
It would not fit.
Could I, would Jessica or Rebecca or Zachary maybe know that information if I was like, if, thank you.
That's
That was the exact question.
that's exact. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, the timing all. But then that
Rebecca, they say, "Hey, there's a lot of hill groves,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't quite ring a bell,
Yeah.
but it's certainly not implausible.
Right.
And it especially doesn't match with the fact that Hester's reluctant to say anything,
Right.
because they were of completely
'Cause that would have
different
been
social
inappropriate.
stations. I mean, it would have been inappropriate in any way, because they were conducting it in secret,
Mm-hmm.
but especially with the station, you
Right.
think that...
And Jonathan would have been the right age, but Mr. Gower, in my mind, is
Mhm.
older. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's like probably a little younger than Bolter, but
Mhm.
not that much. They're kind of
Okay.
He was sort of Bolter. Mr. Gower was sort of your Nigel. It's
Copy.
kind of the same relationship, but with more gravitas.
And Jonathan, who was Jonathan to Mr. Bolter again?
Jonathan was like the secretary clerk, so he would have
Thank
been a non-gentry who had been hired
Great.
to.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And the Hillgroves were there for
Oh.
like 5 or so days. Is that
Yeah,
about the time?
they came in on the 2nd,
They
left
showed
on
up
the...
on the 2nd, left on the 10th.
Yes.
So they were there for like a week. That's enough time for 2 young people to fall in love, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Some 2 young stupid people, yeah.
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 2 young idiots. Sorry.
Yep. Maybe though.
Cool. That's interesting.
Yes, you don't know,
Don't know,
but that
it
is
could
not
connect.
an implausible.
Yeah.
The only other option, like, there's probably a couple of other, like, there's a groom probably, there's a couple of other people, like Zachary, of the people who
But not a
worked in
few
the
other people
house.
who died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not other people who died, no.
Yeah. Well, Bones has lots to talk to the weirdos about when he arrives first.
Yeah,
The freaks like me.
Yeah, it's like me.
Nigel rolls up, he says, getting everything ready, sir?
Yes.
So,
Gets
which...
2, and you have his little outfit,
No,
I presume.
just one this time.
Yes, I had to...
To know what this is.
I do too. So I had to let it out in the seams. It was getting a little small.
Sure.
Could feed him less.
Yeah, but he likes it so much.
Yes, sir.
What is this about?
I don't know. It's great.
The real question is, do I know?
Oh my god.
He's got a little outfit.
He's got a little outfit. No, I know.
There's one of them.
Horror.
It's us.
Okay, so you're loading up. Jessica is sort of getting ready. Rebecca has come in at some point and been, because you guys were yelling so loudly, has heard, essentially has understood what Zachary is up to.
Yeah.
And he is so grounded. Just so grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want him, you'll have to somehow convince him to sneak out. Like, you will need to do some planning. He is not coming.
I would like to make a check on the way out to try and lean down and whisper in my tips for pretending to be home and sneaking out, and try to use that to convince him.
Or give me
fast talk?
give me whatever your persuasion fast talk charm is.
73. That just passes.
Yeah, all right. He does not need much convincing.
Nice.
You told him. Do you want him to do anything?
I just want him to. I want him to, let his metaphysical justice imagination run wild, and that when I give the signal, and I don't say what the signal is,
No.
then he needs to create a distraction for me.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna think about what that means. What he's planning on doing, because his ghost thing, maybe he doesn't do that again.
Right. They took the
Good old hat.
He doesn't know that yet, but Sally, so you go to the bar, you see Frank Gilbert nursing an incredible headache, but he is dressed up in his ball stuff, so he is planning on going.
Terrible business at the ball. It's a rather a good thing you didn't go.
Yes. Yep.
Did you hear about all that?
Someone said something caught on fire, and
Correct. That yes. I do rather think that it would be foolish to go to the second party, don't you think? If you didn't have to. Are you okay? Would you like a beer?
No, I'm good. I'm quite... Thank you, Miss Gibbs. I'm quite alright. We've incurred the expense of coming up here, and think that my dear Mary would be absolutely devastated if I did not describe to her at least one of these balls.
Oh, I'd be more than happy to ask around. You know how we talk in town. You could send word without having to tax yourself, so...
Give me a persuasion or charm on that.
Come on, Sally.
Go on.
Can I do it?
Sally, hot hands.
Mine is fast.
Fast talk's great. Whichever one.
16!
Oh.
That is a
There's
hard-
those
Yes,
salad rolls.
That's-
yes.
Yeah, that's convincing. Says, you do that?
Oh, of course. I'll just ask around town a bit, and I can most certainly give you some information no later than tomorrow morning.
If anyone asks, I definitely went there.
Of course.
100%. But I'm gonna go hide in my room.
Smart choice.
Pretend that I don't exist.
I'll send some bread up.
Oh, nope.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. It's good. Staggers upstairs. Yeah, so you've headed him off.
Chicken McNuggets.
Got some
Yeah.
carbs.
Yeah, so you managed to head off Frank Gilbert before he goes. You think the chances he does make it to the final ball are pretty high.
Right.
Unless we kill him.
But
Always an
I
option.
don't care about that one, because, wear mask.
Oh, right, that's the masquerade.
That's true. That's so true. God, I'm so excited for that one. Anyway, great. So you've headed off Frank. Are you doing anything with your dress? Are you just gonna wear the same dress?
I'm gonna wear the same dress. I'd like to take a peek around and see if there's any curtains that I can perhaps try to mend a little bit of the area that's been scorched, or just also alter it in some way that looks a little different.
Yeah, so you'd have some sewing skill, like everyone in the era would. It would take, you don't have, sewing's not a thing. I'd say it'd take a hard dexterity check to do it well.
Okay.
So you can attempt to fix the dress, but it's not going to be easy to, because it is a very nice dress, constructed like in an elaborate manner, not really the things you would be used to sewing.
Yeah, it's not even so much a fix. It's just kind of like a cover up and like just slightly look different.
Yeah, I think in the sense of like
almost like I'm just tying a sash.
Yeah, no, I think given what you have access to and the ability, like the importance right now of dress dictating station in terms of your reputational check staying in balance, you'd have to roll.
Fair.
Because like in terms of fooling the town people, you definitely could do it.
Okay.
But to keep once you get to the ball to fool the gentry, if you want to change it.
Ooh, it's close, but not enough for a hard. It passes regularly, but not a hard.
You could push it if you wanted to roll again, but if you push it,
I don't want to fuck up the dress.
It definitely will damage the dress further.
Yeah, no, I'll just leave her be. I didn't I passed the dex, but not a hard. So I hopefully it looks a little different, but it's not like better.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It looks different, but not better.
Okay, great. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think you're at, like, if someone knew that you had survived, like knew enough to look closer, they'd probably be able to tell, but you'll pass first glance.
Okay, that's good enough.
So it's a little, your cover's still kind of shaky if anyone pokes in further, but you're good on a first glance.
I want to lie to my dad again about feeling bad.
So, are you sure you're okay, sweetheart? I mean,
I'm sure just another night or two of extra rest will be enough.
Okay, I mean, so we can call for Dr. Brown.
No, it's certainly not that dire. Thank you, Father. Good night.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys all head there. Any no final words? Can you all roll a dexterity check for the order in which you arrived?
Certainly. Ooh. 19.
38.
67.
66.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you see people are unloading. It doesn't look like everyone's gotten there yet, but certainly at least half the guests have arrived. Leighton has a wet cloth across his head. He's just, nope, it's fine. I'm just conserving my strength until we finally arrive.
Quite all right, brother.
I'm always all right. I'm fantastic. Perfect.
You look wonderful. I think we've spent a little bit of the afternoon after the change of theme, like, very impractically breaking bottles and glasses and, like, covering Leighton's outfit in broken glass. So he's sparkling.
It's gotta look like absolute trash.
No. We've tried to make it beautiful.
Give me a hard dexterity check. There's no way.
That's a 29.
Does that make it?
It's a regular pass. I almost want to burn some luck points for my brother, but I don't.
You could also push it with the.
I'm gonna push it, and my brother might look terrible.
You have to.
All right, I gotta get a 15. That's a 3.
Oh!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Somehow.
I think Lenora feels kind of guilty about how much she's like lumped Leighton into and really wants to help him look his best. And I think she really genuinely puts in effort to like help him construct an outfit for the evening. And her hands are like bleeding.
Covered in blood and ink.
Yeah, she's covered in blood and ink, but her brother looks immaculate.
What a metaphor right there.
Oh no! Don't do that to me right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's more like, it's not necessarily that Leighton looks incredible based on the strict social, fashion of the time. It's more that he's an artist, and artists can sort of get away with murder.
Yes.
And so you sort of, like, by making him look so out of the norm, he somehow wraps right round into being, like, part of the evening. Like, he is an event of the evening.
Yeah, like he's a centerpiece, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. He also, like, he looks great.
Yeah, he's got an earring that might be made out of part of the chandelier from last night.
It's very daring.
Yeah,
it's very daring.
It's a bold look. Lenora, very plain. And yeah, I think as we walk up, just like, you look wonderful, brother. And kind of is just like, all right, well, I'm going to put some more bandages on, and then just maybe sit in the lobby and wait. I hear there's a very exciting guest coming in a few minutes' time, so I'll just sort of like wrap my bandage up my hands a little bit more and just wait for Bones' guest to show up in the lobby.
All right, what fresh hell rolls up?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Could I roll for guest 2? Because guest 2 is the sort of creature that is crafty enough to maybe get out of their own cage.
Yes, please.
What would I need to get under for them to do that?
I think this is a luck check.
Okay.
On how well you secured, like Bones secured the enclosure. Or Nigel did.
Okay. And I want low for him to escape?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want him to escape? Or
I
no,
mean,
he wants to escape. You're
metaphysically, I want. Yeah. Oh, that's not good. 92.
Oh.
He in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could push it.
But then he could show up somewhere.
Yeah, I think if you pushed it, that he would just show up sometime during the night, maybe.
You do it again?
Yeah, I'm gonna push it.
Why not?
I have nothing to lose. 35.
Yeah, he makes it.
Alright.
So he's gone.
Right. So Bones and Nigel and Jessica walk up. Jessica has a marvelous, but modest, shiny gown on for the evening, like a dull blue sort of color. Nigel's got his usual fit, clerk's fit, I guess, assistant's fit. Bones has some, very peculiar garb for the region, but American frontiersman's clothes
that's
with
absolutely.
his usual long boots.
I think like Lewis and Clark.
Think like Lewis and Clark, exactly. A lot of leather and furs and stuff like that.
Precisely. Very, very apt.
He steps up and he says, Miss Fenton, Mr. Fenton, thank you so much for having us once again. I present to you your second housewarming gift.
You
Nigel?
You really don't have to. Nigel
comes up, rips the curtain off the cage, and it is empty, and the door is just like...
Do we get any hint as to what creature is in
how
this?
big is the cage?
The cage is like a medium to large dog cage size.
Cool.
I think Bones tries to play this off and goes, "Oh, this is the wrong cage. Nigel, we must have left the other cage at our where we're staying. Apologies. I shall bring you 2 gifts tomorrow."
Give me a char or persuasion.
Fast talk.
Yeah, fast talk or charm.
23.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass.
somehow they believe you.
Yes.
I think they think that you have forgotten the animal.
Yeah.
I think that's that they think that not that like you got the wrong cage, but that you just like forgot to put the animal in it.
I think Bones leans into Nigel and he's just like, fine, bitch.
Sir, I will do my utmost.
Thank you. And how much am I paying you?
Not enough. Like we joke, but not enough.
Okay, another raise when we get back.
Cool. All right. Let's see. So you were in. Yeah.
Oh, right. Again, walk downtown and get myself over to
The house.
On my 2 feet.
Do you like stash travel shoes somewhere on the premises?
I think like she's doing this ball in regular shoes.
Mm.
And I think that like if I fuck up the dress enough, you'll start to see them on
Big ever after vibes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna walk up. If anyone asks on my way in, like I have my letter again, and I like I said yesterday, my carriage is broken. Thank you. No questions.
Of course. I mean, yeah.
No questions.
Was the carriage home last night to your liking?
It was so lovely. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course. Right this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So footman number 2 recognizes you, and so you are able to
Oh yes, just
pass.
be cash.
Wait, is there anything you do? So you see Lenora right here.
Okay.
And then you see Bones and Jessica. Are they going to continue? Nigel
goes off. Bones and Jessica would probably go grab a drink and then do their little like prepare to socialize in the curio room.
Ah, excellent. Okay. So you guys walk over. You walk past Lenora. There.
Yeah, I think as you do, I just am like,
Miss Blackwell?
hello, I was expecting a guest.
Pleasure.
Eagerly anticipating a guest.
Ah, yes. Cage mix-up.
Fun. And then I'll just like
It
let
should
you
be. Cheers.
Just keep waiting to see who comes up.
I'm gonna scan the room for Leopold.
You don't see him.
Good.
Yes, you see his parents.
That's fine.
But you don't see him specifically, no. Alright, so you go into the curio room, and as you do, you see Leopold Fenton and Annette Fenton engaged in another conversation. Give me an investigate roll.
Or listen?
Listen.
You can do, I guess you can do a listen to hear a conversation as they're,
and potentially, like, stop ourselves before we go in if I pass? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend a little point. It's a 41 and my listen is 40. So
41.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Made it.
Okay, cool. So you you hear the tail end of a conversation. It looks like they've been having a much a longer conversation. And as the ball has started to get more in swing, they're sort of wrapping it up. And you hear as Leopold's like heading out, saying, "This is doing it for the family, and expect you not to get distracted by another pretty girl this evening." Leopold just kind of like storms out.
I think Bones says, Mrs. Fenton, how are you finding your new house guests? And he gestures towards the macaws.
I'm finding them to be exactly the amount of housewarming I think you intended.
Wonderful.
Isn't it just?
Anyway.
The temperature of the room is lowering
Oh, yeah.
as you guys stand in there.
I think Bones intends to ice her out of the room and not let her ice him out of the room.
Absolutely. Give me a psychology check.
No, 68.
Great. Cool. So she sort of edges around you and just says, "Well, I have guests to attend to. This will be." So you guys are in the curio room.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have the macaws picked anything up from anybody else?
Do the macaws have anything to say?
Alright. They got a 13 listening.
Oh.
Let me...
Little clue from the macaws?
Ooh.
This is fun.
Yeah, okay. No, I want to give you something. I just need to think of
Sure,
like what
take your time.
what it could be.
In the meantime, I think I would have beelined over if I
Yeah, if you want to cut
recognized
to a
you.
different scene.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me think on that for a second. So you're beelining to
Lenora.
yes. There.
It's so nice to see a familiar face.
Oh, Miss Gilbert, how are you?
I'm okay. I don't know how to dance, though, and I think I've promised to dance with someone.
Oh, you know what? I also don't know how to dance, and I'm really quite terrible at it, and I've been trying to avoid it.
Okay. Perhaps we avoid it together.
Yes, of course. So the thing about the first dance is that if you're not in the ballroom when the first dance happens, your obligation to someone about the first dance goes away. If you never make it in the ballroom, you never have to dance.
Oh,
is
that's
what I've found.
interesting. Shall we sit in the far corner of the parlor then and wait for it to pass?
I think we should.
Okay.
I want you to know that Lenora doesn't actually know that that's the case.
It sounds legit.
Listen, I'll try to avoid dancing with you, but I am quite curious what information we might be able to pick up on tonight.
Oh.
I've sent my brother to be talking to dear Hester, dear Miss Hester, and might find something out from her. We may be doing a bit of spying on various people. I don't know, it could be fun.
That does sound fun.
Right. Maybe you could, if you are willing to sort of put yourself in the way of an awkward situation for a moment, perhaps 1 or 2 dances with Mr. Fenton, just to see what's on his plate over the ball.
I do think that's a fantastic idea, although I cannot stress enough how awful a dancer I am.
Oh, yes, no, of course, that's all right. I wonder if
I'm not
you can find another opportunity.
I'm nice now.
Oh. What a lovely hat change.
My fascinator has fallen off. Do forgive me. Okay, yes.
Hey, would you like some help? You just like there's your bloody hands reaching out to help you. Yes, no, well, I mean, even if you're not dancing, I mean, if you can find your way to any sort of conversation with Mr. Lee and Fenton, I mean, we'd always find out what his family is getting up to.
You're right. I can do this. Okay. All right.
Yes, of course.
But
in
first,
the meantime,
yeah,
perhaps
let's
we
not
retire
dance the first
to.
dance.
I know we were supposed to be all meeting up together, so
I don't know. Did we make a plan?
I think we made a specific plan.
I think we saw you walk
You
by.
definitely,
Yeah.
hard to miss.
Should we meet up with our new acquaintances in the curio room?
Right before this happening, Anne does arrive.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
You and the Pops. It's just
Yeah.
a big crowd.
Yes.
You see Nigel like walking around the perimeter, kind of the drive with a stick of some kind, just sort of like poking the bushes.
Everything all right, Mr. Thornberry?
Yes, everything is perfectly fine.
Glad to hear it.
I think he's got one of those little sticks that has a little rope at the end of it.
Yep. I so clearly try to catch an animal.
Yeah.
First of all,
Very good. Gonna walk up the stairs with but can I make a spot hidden for the guest that he's looking for?
sure, it'd be a hard spot hidden.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want me to roll for the ghost?
Yeah, you roll an opposed stealth.
I would say this creature is probably pretty stealthy.
Yeah.
Not a great roll though. 64.
That's an extreme success.
All right,
Oh.
Isn't that a 1? No, that's a 7.
That's a 7.
7.
Okay.
Okay, you tell Anne, like here. You tell Anne what the creature is, but then you also get to say what the creature does. So if the creature, upon being perceived, would skedaddle and or cause a scene, I don't know. You tell me. It's probably 50 feet circumference of the house, kind of the steps here, depending on whether the nature of this creature would be to seek out a cave versus like a tree or a field. If it's cave, then it's near the house. If it's a tree or a field, it is farther.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you see that. Is it further afield or is it right by the house?
It'd be elevated.
Alright, you look up in a tree?
I usher the pots on ahead and I just tap Mr. Thornberry. I believe what you're looking for is up there. And I keep walking.
You can see just the will to live drain from his eyes.
So Anne walks into the house with the after the pots. I think she's gone for a very simple dress, nothing too flashy, but Mary did insist on giving her some like pieces of crystal and stuff to put in her hair. In order to kind of match the theme.
So you go in. Sounds like the band's starting up for the first dance. Not in the sense of like it's starting in now, but more like find your partners in the next 10 minutes for the first dance.
I suggest you hide, Miss Gilbert.
To enter the curio room.
Yes, the first dance is happening. Time to go to the curio room.
Curio room. So you see them walk off. Do you follow?
I sort of whisper a few words of encouragement to Mary and push her along, and I will, seeing them go to the curio room, I will follow as well.
Alright, you make it to the curio room. Yeah, alright, so you all arrive in the curio room. No one's there. But you do remember that the passageway between the kitchens is here, so you know that you're not guaranteed privacy in this.
Yeah.
In this right here.
I think Bones, when Lenora walks in, says, Miss Blackwell, I have a wonderful idea for your book, your brother's book that you're researching. That your brother is researching. Wonderful. Right.
That is a hard success
Yeah,
for
I know.
insight. Okay. Or for like psychology.
What was I saying? Yes. Poison ink. Doesn't that sound like a marvelous idea for a murder mystery novel? And he's trying to play this off so that, like, if someone overhears, it just seems casual.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea for one of Leighton's
Books.
Yes, I think she's starting to figure it out. Is like a little nervous about that, but is like, as a matter of fact, after getting some inspiration, some olfactory inspiration.
Speaking of, Miss Waldron, I have use for your nose, your expert nose from yesterday, and he holds the bundled handkerchief and just sort of like wafts it towards you.
Oh yes, that's definitely the same.
Right. So I was doing some research on. I was helping my brother with some research on.
Right.
On
Leighton was researching. You were
Yes.
scribing, I imagine.
Of course. On poisons and things like that. It's interesting that we're so on the same page, as it were. I've heard that hemlock is quite an effective method of poisoning ink. I've heard it's got quite an acrid sort of floral smell.
Oh.
It's a bit distinctive. One could easily poison something with some hemlock.
Have the macaws spoken of yet?
Oh yeah.
Yes, so you the macaws are, as you're talking about hemlock and poison, one of them says, do it for the family. Do it for the family.
Right.
Yikes. Well. Also, Bones generally catches... Well, does he catch you up here? That's the question. I don't know if he...
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, is there somewhere we could speak more privately? I would love to have
Say we'll
a more candid conversation with all of you.
definitely not out of the way in this room, as it were.
A small walkabout, no one would question it. Yes, of course.
Great. So you guys are all gonna head out to the portico?
Yeah, and then maybe step out onto the yard for a little...
I am trying to be stealthy.
Specifically for
Yeah.
Leopold.
As you're walking out, the strains of the first dance start up. Give me a stealth check. As you're walking.
Dodge the dance.
I might be enough. I'm pretty stealthy. Oh, it's just shy. Do I spend some points?
Yeah, you got some.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, you're so lucky.
Yeah, spend some luck.
Or maybe I just like try to roll this again. Can I push it? I see him just about to look, and so I go to like really get out of the doorway as quickly as
Yeah, absolutely,
possible.
push
Push it.
Okay, it worked.
You worked.
Ooh,
I really wanted it to fail.
I know.
That
I
was
kind of
so
wanted it
funny.
to fail
Yeah.
too. I trip or something.
Trip into his arms.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's right.
Brutal.
As you dash past, you do see Leopold lining up for the first dance. Across from him is Hester Hillgrove.
Okay. And just as a moment where she's like, but and she's just gonna skip away. Yep. Don't want to dance with him, but I don't appreciate Hesta doing this.
Alright. Cool. Alright, so you make it out to the portico. Are you gonna go like fully out into the lawn and just
Yeah, I think we don't want anyone to hear us.
Yeah, and you're a suspicious but not socially suspicious mix of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're out in the lawn. You can see the bush where you saw Zachary before.
And I think Bones catches them all up on that there is a secret study, and Bones found all of these letters. Do not touch them, because he believes they're poisoned. The differences in handwriting, the thing about Jonathan dying, and Mr. Gower dying, all of that. Kind of everything he talked about with Jessica and Zachary.
It's horrifying.
I can't help but try to connect some of these things. And one thing I'm quite interested by is my brother has been talking with Miss Hester, and she was left bereft by someone who passed away shortly after the passing of, shortly before the passing of Mr. Willoughby. And it seemed that she was particularly reticent about the identity of that paramour.
Jonathan was of age, not of station to date someone like, or to romance someone like Hester, but...
Right. If listen, this may be a bit far-fetched, right? But if maybe I've spent too much time in my brother's books, but if I were to envision this, right, I could see Jonathan and Hester having a relationship. Jonathan knows how to get to the secret office because the staff knows their way around. That means that Hester may know how to get to the secret office, which means that her family might be able to access the secret office.
I don't like
That
that.
certainly opens
Oh.
up a pool of suspects, doesn't
And
it?
she maybe unwittingly killed her own lover?
Right. I also wonder about what she may have passed on to Jonathan. I wonder if there was a suggested match between Zachary Colt and one of the Hillgrove family. I can only wonder if it was Hester.
Oh.
And now I can only imagine seeing Hester dancing with Mr. Leopold if there is a property grab happening on the part of the
Oh,
Hillgroves.
because if Hester and Leopold got married, then
Right.
the Hillgroves would...
Hillgroves would have a claim. There is a chance. Hopefully, Hester doesn't actually know where the office is. But, I don't know, in a manor full of secret exits and entrances, if
And
you're
booby traps.
And booby traps.
Booby
If you're
traps.
if you're a staff
Oh,
member,
The
having
manor's
a-
quite booby-trapped. Watch
Right.
out.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Trapdoor in the front door I recently found out potentially, so...
That's very exciting.
Yes,
The-
could be useful.
If
Do we have any idea what sets that off?
No. I do know it was maybe one of Bolta's last acts to set that, what he called a tiger trap up.
Jessica says, he did not tell me.
Did
So
not. You don't
did
know
not
of
tell
that one. Good.
It's not to say it doesn't exist.
Sure.
Allegedly.
Do you know, Miss Willoughby, which of the Hillgrove sisters was proposed as a match for Zachary?
Both of them, I believe.
Hester and...
Hester and Jane. So Jane is the youngest, Hester the second.
Oh, interesting.
Both of marrying age.
Has Jane been around?
Jane's been floating around.
Okay. Oh,
Do you want to know who was under the chandelier?
If Jonathan and Hester were together, Jonathan could have shared any number of secrets about
exactly.
the house with her.
Right, because what better place than a manor with all kinds of secret rooms to have a secret affair with someone where you can take someone into a room where no one knows what it is.
And how much is Hesta involved?
Or is she just...
It's a whole secret passage from the curio room to the kitchen.
Yes, of course.
Wow, good to know.
I do think that
Well, of course, the one in the library, too.
it would behoove everyone here
Jessica, what was that?
if your brother
Well, the one from the library, it's not very useful. You just can get outside easily.
From the library?
From the library to outside, yes, of course.
Oh, that is extremely useful.
And the servant's stair, I'm not sure it really counts as a secret passageway.
Sure.
It's well...
But this is a secret passageway.
Yes.
The library.
Well, it was last time
the
I was
map we
here.
all have in front of us.
Yes, the library, yes, of course. Yes, I mean, I don't know what they've done with it since they've completely
Or if they know of
renovated.
it.
Yeah. How old are all of Hubert's children?
Hubert's children are all between the ages of like 24 and 20. So they're all of marrying age, yeah.
Because if there's a world where Jane would want to take her sister out, depending on their relationship, because then she's more likely to be married off.
Oh, that's troubling.
But there's a world where she wants to do that and kill Hubert Fenton, because then it ends up everything calls into question, and also she's of marrying age.
Yes, of course.
Jane's a mystery to me. I don't.
Jane is a bit of a mystery. Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever met her.
Nor have I, but I wonder if someone
And
should.
she's how old?
Jane is a year younger than Hester, so she's 22 to Hester's 24, somewhere in there.
So she would be second to marry.
Yes.
Well, what benefit would it be to any of the Fentons, or even to any of the Hargroves, to kill Hubert?
I don't think to the Fentons.
His sons are still the majority. The house would fall to them. They wouldn't need to marry anyone in order to legitimize that.
There might be a world where Jane wants Hubert dead, Leopold to take over, Quentin dead, so there's no challenge, her sister dead, so there's no challenge, so she can marry Leopold.
Exactly.
This is all a great deal of speculation on a person we've
For sure.
never even spoken
who we've not
to.
spoken to, yes.
And where's Spencer in all this?
Spencer was in the ballroom hanging out in the periphery. He did not have a dance partner.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
He didn't wanna
Spencer
dance.
is the other Fenton
As
brother,
the
not
eldest,
Quentin.
yeah.
He's the eldest.
Almost like he knew.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it seems like Leopold's grandmother is trying to set him up with a familial match.
It does. It just... Why are they worried so much about Leopold and not Spencer?
It does seem rather suspicious, seeing as how there's really no cause for them to require the Hillgroves in order to inspire legitimacy, unless they are either bankrupt or have been in league with them from the beginning.
Either of those things is entirely possible.
Huh.
What's interesting is Walter seemed to think that the law was on his side for passing to Zachary.
If only he'd lived another year.
Oh, if only he had lived another year. Yeah. Right, because Balter had no reason to think he was going to die.
He was hale, hearty, healthy.
So the people we're particularly interested in speaking with today... Spencer, certainly.
Jane.
Leopold.
Elucidate the mysteries.
And Hester.
And Hester. I do have my brother talking to Hester, but I'm a bit worried about it.
Also, weirdly, I'm a little suspicious of Annette Fenton.
Certainly.
For when I was upstairs and the chandelier crashed and I heard running, the first people I saw were Annette and Isabel. And while it's hard for me to presume that a woman of such advanced age had run, there was that issue with this heavy door not getting closed, which makes me think whoever had tried to close it might not have had the strength to fully close it, and may have been frail, like Annette.
Good.
But it's hard for me to imagine this relatively cold old woman, but still to be a murderer, or attempted murderer, especially of her own family.
It was sort of a jumble of Fentons and Hillgroves in the dance. I can imagine there may have been some collateral expected.
I suppose we should divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Possibly dancers, unfortunately.
Oh. Maybe more drinking
Lord.
than dancing.
It's maybe a drink and then a dance.
Give me a spot hidden just as you're heading out.
All of us?
Yep.
Nope.
I'll spend some luck on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend 4 luck points to make it.
You see Zachary hiding in the same bushes.
Zachary.
I think I look at him and just go.
You can see just a little wave back. And he's clearly overheard, like, a good chunk of what you guys were saying.
Yeah. I do think I kind of nudge Bones and, like...
I think Bones looks at Zachary and...
He looks back and I got you, but also have no idea.
That's not the signal.
That's great.
Your time will come.
Your time will come. Great.
So, drinking and dancing.
Drinking and dancing.
Yes!
Who
It's a party after all.
how are we sort of allocating this?
And then he also
We've
wanted
got-
to talk to the cook, I believe.
Oh, yes.
I will go speak with the cook.
Wonderful.
I
Great.
suppose I'll go chat with Leopold.
Yeah, you come in and the dance is sort of breaking up.
Your sacrifice is greatly appreciated, Miss Gilbert.
Truly.
I could try to talk to Hester.
Or
yeah,
Jane, if you see her.
I've sort of burned my bridges with the Hillsborough sisters, unfortunately. I suppose that leaves me with Annette and Spencer. But I've tried to get... my brother and I are on rather good terms with, apparently, with the... Possibly, after the letter, with...
Yeah, give me
Fenton family.
a persuasion. No, actually, give me an appearance roll, but with your reputational roll bonus
Great. Okay.
for how that letter went over.
Appearance. Oh, great. Okay, I forgot Lenore's like hot. Ooh, that's bad, but
You
with
get
the bonus die.
dice. Woo!
That is a regular.
Okay.
Oh no, that's. Oh, I'm gonna spend 1 luck point to make it a hard success.
Okay. I would say, like, with the costume that Leighton is wearing, yeah, with that extra luck, they definitely... You can sense that any of the older Fentons do look favorably upon you when you walk by. All right,
As
so
long as you don't spend too much time with Bones.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not happening.
okay. Sally, there, Bones, kitchen, and your
I'm going for the Hillgrove sister.
Hillgrove sister. You see Hester over here. You see Jane over here. Hester is still kind of arm in arm with Leopold.
I think I'm gonna kind of look to Sally and be like, hey, you take the one, I'll take the other.
All right. I'm gonna scurry over and maybe arm in Leopold's arm and maybe tut at him about promising a first dance and then whisk him away as best I can.
So he's got Hester on one
still
arm.
has the arm. Okay.
So do you go for the second
I'll
arm?
just wait a second then.
He sees you and he starts. Miss Gilbert.
Leopold.
Miss Gilbert. You've met Miss Hester.
It's so nice to see you again, Hester.
Miss Gilbert.
Would you mind if I stole Leopold for a moment for a chat?
You can see. Give me a psychology.
No.
I'm so sorry. I promised the next dance to Miss Hester. When I did not see you appear, I feared you were not coming, and I took that to be your answer.
Well, of course. If you want to chat later, we can. Enjoy your dance. I guess I can go across and maybe talk to somebody else.
Yeah. So you see that Hester is still firmly arm in arm with Leopold.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to talk to her unless I can get her alone.
Yes.
So, I guess I'll go
Spencer.
for Jane.
Yeah, where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
You're gonna go talk to Spencer?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
It's
Make him jealous.
yeah, I was about to say, immediately goes and talks to his older brother. Incredible.
We haven't heard from Spencer really yet.
No.
Yeah, interesting.
Spencer and Jane are both a mystery.
So you go over to Jane. She's just finished a dance with another gentry. You don't recognize him.
Miss Jane Hillgrove, I believe?
No, yes, that is me.
And Waldron.
Oh, Miss Waldron, a pleasure.
Very good to meet you. It's such a shame that I haven't met more of your family more often.
Well, there's truly so many of us.
I do keep getting surprised every time I think I've met you all. There's another one.
It's many blessings, but yes, sometimes do get confused. But no, I'm Jane. This is me.
I take it this is this is my first time, or I suppose last night was my first time to Redworth, but I take it this was a home you've been to many times.
Not as much as we would like.
Oh.
Yes, well, you know, Uncle Willoughby was perhaps less than... He'd like to stay alone most of the time. We tried as, his family
Older gentlemen can be like that.
Yes.
It's cantankerous and...
Sure. Surely, yes, true. Yes, of course. She does not know this, but she's going to say yes.
Go saying anything too crazy.
No, I just don't think she's met many cantankerous gentlemen. I think she's like kind of the younger, she has not been out that much in society.
Sure, but like, family exists.
Her family's not cantankerous, I guess.
Would you perhaps be equipped to show me around the house a bit? I'd love to see more of the rooms. I feel like I've really only seen the ballroom and the patio after last night's incidents.
Sure, I'm only passingly familiar with it now that they've done such an excellent job uplifting it into the modern era. But I'd be happy to take a turn around to the lower
That would be
floor.
lovely.
Of course, it's nice to meet you, Miss Walter.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Little arm.
yeah, absolutely.
I will take a turn about the room with Jane Hillgrove.
Yes, take a turn about the room. You're going over to.
I'm going to actually beeline to Beatrice and see if I can't request that. Oh, Beatrice, it's so good to see you again.
Oh, Miss Gilbert, how are you? This is my husband,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Hargrove.
It's nice to meet you properly.
Pleasure. Yes.
I wonder if I might speak with your wife for a spell?
He sort of looks at her in the
Unless
way.
you were going to dance.
Well, the next dance isn't for some number of minutes. I think I can go stand in the corner over here.
I shall return her to you momentarily.
Yes. Sounds delightful.
Okay. Oh, Beatrice, I seem to have lost my dancing partner for the evening.
Oh, it's so terrible.
It is so terrible.
Well, you and young Master Fenton.
I know. We did hit it off last night, but it appears that he's filling his dance card pass with another partner tonight. So I was wondering if I might be so bold.
Audacity!
I know.
You must steal him back.
Well, I wondered
This
if
cannot stand.
I thought perhaps maybe making him jealous with another dance might work.
Ooh.
If you would assist me in
Dude, how can I help?
I would love an introduction of someone who might make him a tad bit jealous.
Ooh. Perhaps. Do you see the young gentleman over there?
Oh.
His older brother.
Oh, and handsome too.
Yes, very. Were I slightly younger, perhaps made better choices.
I love Beatrice.
She's great. She turned out cool.
Yes, we're well acquainted. Perhaps I can make the acquaintance over the ballroom floor.
Oh my goodness, you really are so marvelous. Thank you.
I'm always happy to help the path of young true love.
Oh, perfect. I think this will work.
I think it's not. If it doesn't work, it will be fun.
Oh, and really, that's what matters. Okay.
That's the spirit. Yeah, so she walks over with you to Spencer Fenton. Yep, no, that's Spencer. Where is Sally? There's Sally. And Beatrice. Okay, cool. My dyslexic ass is striking again. Okay. Well, where are we going again?
I am going to, I believe that my brother is in the dining room along with Mrs. Annette Fenton, who is the next person I have on my list.
It is true, yes.
It might go badly, we'll see.
Tough cookie.
I have some thoughts. I'm gonna walk kind of around and just see how much I can eavesdrop on the way and end up in the dining room with my brother.
Yeah, alright. Give me a... Give me a listen. Yeah, I think so.
Listen's my best. Oh, that's still a pass with a 72.
Oh, nice. Alright. So you're walking, you see this cluster of hill groves, and they're not chatting about anything seriously in particular, but they do seem to be sort of eyeing Leopold and Hester. It's like, Maybe. Redworth, maybe part 2.
Yeah.
It seems to be the vibe there. You see Quentin and Adelaide Fenton are completely wrapped up in each other. They're not saying anything informational, really. They're exchanging very vapid pleasantries about the room, just back and forth at each other. Yes, and you pass by Reverend Wallace and Robert Hargrove, and they're deep in a conversation about the specter they saw yesterday and the complete impossibility of it.
Mm-hmm.
And wondering if something similar's gonna happen, if it's gonna come back.
Sure.
But
yeah, great. So I'll walk into the dining room. In what state do I find Leighton?
Leighton is kind of taking a break from. You get the sense that he walked onto the ballroom, was swarmed, and ducked out with the excuse of getting a drink.
Wonderful.
And has come back. So he's sort of pretending to be busy at the kind of the refreshments table over here.
Wonderful. Okay. Hiding from fame?
It's a terrible curse, I'll have you know.
Must be.
I did try to speak to Miss Hester.
Yes.
But she was already thusly engaged and figured I'd have to come back.
Of course. It seems as though Mr. Fenton has taken a rather unexpected interest in her.
It's peculiar.
Quite.
She seemed very interested in me.
Have you, as you know, who wouldn't be, Leighton?
That's what I was saying.
Have you had the pleasure of being introduced to Mrs. Annette Fenton in your wanderings about?
I do not believe more than in passing.
I mean, if at all, I would greatly desire an introduction.
Well, can't go badly.
Surely not. And if you wouldn't mind, once you've managed to catch your breath, if you can seem to be in competition with Mr. Fenton for Hester's dance of the evening, I would appreciate it. Just seem
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Riverside.
In the country.
2 weeks on
As much as
Riverside.
you want, darling.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes, of course. Whatever you want. I owe you.
Deeply. Yes. So he walks you over to Annette Fenton and says, Mrs. Fenton, we were so briefly introduced as we arrived, but I wanted to introduce you to my sister, my stalwart confidant. Really, I couldn't do any of my writing without her.
It's so lovely to meet you, Mrs. Fenton. It's just a pleasure. I wanted to make your acquaintance and tell you how lovely it's been to get to know your family and experience a bit of this world you've been living in. It's lovely.
Oh, of course, I'd have to thank you for your kind notes. It's kind of to both of you, but your kind note really made us feel like a little less of a complete disaster over the events of which we do not speak.
Oh, of course, I'm sure it must have left everyone feeling rather ill at ease, but it seems like everything has recuperated nicely.
Indeed.
Of course. Leighton, weren't you about to go for a dance?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I will leave you two lovely ladies to it.
Wonderful. I kind of sit there and drink a little bit and try not to bother her too much, but lightly make small talk with her. And then at a certain point, I'll just be like, Mrs. Fenton, I hate to trouble you with the woes of a troubled sister, but our parents were really keen on Leighton coming and connecting with someone, and I don't think that they had Miss Hillgrove in mind, and yet Leighton seems to have fixed his attention on Miss Hillgrove.
How curious. She did not seem to keep this between the two of us, and
Of course.
I'm sure you were, as the sister to a brilliant mind, used to hearing confidences and keeping them.
Certainly.
Just did not quite think Miss Hester really that interesting or worthy of remark, perhaps. So there's certainly nothing wrong with her.
No, certainly. It seems that Leighton has taken quite a shine to Miss Hester, and I don't know that Hester necessarily reciprocates. It seems as though she's very interested in dancing with young Mr. Fenton.
Oh. I haven't been in the ballroom recently, but I'm Leopold takes it upon himself to make everyone feel welcome, and he particularly reaches out and dances with perhaps the ladies who have not been danced with in an evening, such that every lady gets their turn round the floor.
Yeah, yes, of course. That's really lovely. Can I do a
absolutely.
check about it? I got a 91, and I'm gonna push that.
Okay.
And just say, it is rather unseemly for Leighton to be dancing with Miss Hester after. Good. That's a success.
That's a success. Was it a hard or a regular?
Regular.
Regular. She agrees with you, but you're not sure why she agrees with you. She is trying to deceive you about her intentions, but she doesn't just think that she's a silly girl that Leopold's dancing with, but you're not sure why exactly.
Right. Ooh, okay, this really makes me want to pry. How much I want to do in this part? I'll take a little bit more. Well, I should leave you be, but I will say I was quite worried about your son, Mr. Fenton, and everyone involved in the chandelier incident yesterday. I'm so glad to hear everyone's okay.
No, absolutely. It was deeply, deeply unfortunate. Just seems, a mistake of the machinery, and of course, since been rectified.
Oh, have you found out what happened?
Oh, it seems as they were changing the candles that there was a mistake in properly securing the apparatus. I'm really not sure of the details.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so it's all fine now.
I'm so glad to hear it. Well, I can't imagine something like lightning doesn't strike twice, so I'm sure everything will be wonderful tonight. But
absolutely.
I'm so glad they've sorted everything out. Can I roll again on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That is a hard success.
Hard success.
Yeah.
She's definitely lying about knowing how the mechanics work.
Okay.
That was
great.
she knows exactly what went wrong, whether or not she's telling you.
Great. Well, once again, lovely to make your acquaintance. I'll try to keep my brother away from Miss Hester if I can help it.
Miss Buckle?
Mrs. Fenton.
Great. All right. So you guys, are you going anywhere in particular after this?
Where are you?
I'm in the
going.
kitchen.
Yeah,
headed into the kitchen.
You're going to the kitchen.
Okay, if you're headed in there, do I see you in the hallway as you're
No.
going?
So Bones.
I think this would
yeah.
a net
Okay,
conversation
yeah.
might
Cool,
have been
cool, cool, cool.
simultaneous.
Yeah. So as you're leaving, let's cut over to Bones. So you walk over to the kitchen. There's a bunch of people hard at work, keeping food and beverages kind of supplied.
And I know the cook.
Yes, so you know that the head housekeeper, not necessarily the full cook. So Miss Chesterton.
Miss Chesterton. Mm-hmm. And she would know me from the past?
Yes, she would.
I think I go over and I say, Miss Chesterton, lovely to see you.
Bones!
How
are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk yesterday. There was so much going on.
Truly. How has it been with the Fentons?
You can see her look around to the rest of the Fenton staff and great! Oh, it's, a change to be sure, but one family in, one family out. My job's sort of the same.
Are you still smoking?
Well, proverbial chimney.
Would you like to step out for a smoke with me?
Would I? Did you bring some of the good stuff back?
Of course, from America.
The American good stuff. Great. Yeah, so you step out.
I think Bones has a very long pipe.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, you step out onto the portico area over here. And he's just, what brings you here?
Oh.
Oh, didn't think I'd see you here with Boltergon.
Precisely
Miss
why
Willoughby.
I'm here, Miss Chesterton. I'd really love to know what the circumstances were like in the weeks leading up to his passing, from your perspective. What were the, maids and servants discussing? Because I know they talk. I know you all talk.
Strictest confidence. Strictest confidence, Mr. Horsefinder. Well, I mean, to be completely honest, it was kind of terrible business.
Sure.
Hillgrove showed up. No warning.
Did they bring anything with him?
What do you think?
Yes?
No! We just show up, demanding hospitality as if we haven't hosted a Christmas party that they could have come to. Now, it was small and we didn't invite them, but they could have come. Just after New Year's. And they said, oh, no, just family, we're just visiting, didn't bring anything.
Right.
No supplies for the larder.
Right.
Nothing. Just expected us to host all of them.
Miss Chichison, Jonathan... What was Jonathan's last name?
Applewood.
Applewood. Now, total confidence. Good thing that didn't have water in it. Total confidence.
Yes.
Was Jonathan Applewood involved with Hester Hillgrove while they were visiting?
Books. Wow. Jonathan? That was a very private man.
Rest in peace.
Me.
Miss Justice. I brought you the boots.
So, cannot say for sure. All I know is that there was a series of letters sent, now tragically mostly after he died, from Oxfordshire. No return address.
To him.
To him. Now, they might be around here somewhere. I did not necessarily want to go into his business, especially sometimes it's better not to know than to know, especially when someone's dead. It's not like I could exactly write this person back, whoever they were.
Right.
But, if I had to guess, professional opinion, yes. I don't know how you came by this information.
Well, as you, I'm sure, understand, the circumstances around both Walter and Jonathan's deaths were rather peculiar.
Peculiar, how so? It was a fever that took him.
But don't you find it strange that the fever didn't catch beyond the three of them? When James died and Walter's wife, it caught, the fever spread, and I find it really peculiar that it only stuck to these three gentlemen and didn't, Rebecca didn't catch it, Zachary didn't catch it, Jessica didn't catch it.
To be sure, but I mean, after his wife and child died, God rest their souls, Mr. Willoughby was always very careful. The second anyone got fever, they were confined away from the rest of the house, and we'd send them food on trays, but we were not to talk to them or to interact in any way. I mean, Lord knows we don't understand how these fevers spread, but if you stay away from someone who's sick, often you don't get sick, and it was the best Mr. Bolter could do to protect his remaining family. So the second he got sick, that was it,
Was Jonathan Applewood bringing young Hester into the Bolter's sort of secret areas of the house?
Now, again, strictest confidence.
Strictest confidence.
But if young Master Applewood was, engaged in any way with Miss Hester, there's only so many places to be alone in the house. So I'd not be outside the realm of possibility.
And you know of all the places.
I know of most of them. That's not to say Bolter didn't have his secrets, but I do like to think I was privy to most of them.
Can I psychology check her just for kind of
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
conversation, see if she's just being straight with me?
You can push it.
Is that 1 or 2?
Push it. Yeah, push it is
Okay, this was
re-rolling
a
it.
Re-rolling the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a 3.
Oh my god, amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Incredible. Okay. She's telling the truth. Yeah, she's basically
being
telling.
straightforward.
Yeah,
She's
like
not
I mean,
holding back.
she's
being coy at times, but like.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those like, if there was anything she could do,
there's
she
no
would have
reason for her
done it.
Not to help.
But like, the law was clear. Bolter's dead. She's kind of got to look out for herself, and she's not super. To some extent, as much as she may have cared for the Willoughbys, she was still their staff and their servant. and canny enough not to think that an employment meant the same thing as family.
Sure.
Genuinely fond of them, but yeah, you think she's honestly more broken up about, if anything, Jonathan's death. She's trying to protect him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it seems pretty clear that Jonathan and Hester were in some way communicating.
And there were a bunch of letters
There's
sent to
letters.
him. Not sure where those are. Miss Chesterson's not sure where those are.
You think she knows exactly where they are.
Oh, okay.
And it just has been circumspect about them, and that's not necessarily wanting to drag up the affairs of people who are dead, sort of thing. If everyone's dead, why does it matter?
I think that Bones sort of makes an appeal, and he says, Miss Chesterton, about the letters sent to young Jonathan, not for any reason of impropriety, I do not want to bring a bad name to the dead, I do not want to sully your name as an employer. I have reason to suspect that Walter may have been, and I believe that something in those letters may help if you would share them.
You truly think that it was not the will of God, that something more nefarious?
I do.
Taps her pipe out. Give these letters. I haven't opened them. Figure what was between the dead stayed between the dead.
Understood.
I will say, if they're from who I think they are, to read them with a gentle eye, and protect. I care most that the dead are protected.
Absolutely. Me as well. That is all I'm trying to do.
Walter trusted you. I think that'll have to be good enough for me. So she goes into the kitchen, and there's, like, on the mantle, there's, like, a tin, right? Like a cookie tin where you keep, like, loose letters and sort of, like, recipe cards, essentially. And she reaches back, and she hands you...
Oh my god, that's so many letters.
God damn.
God.
What a treat.
So many letters.
My...
And she does it very surreptitiously. She just, like, sends it to you, like, on the side.
I've got, I'm layered up
Yeah,
with the frontiersman, like, deep
Mhm.
layer inside pocket.
Wow.
These are tucked away for
Absolutely.
Incredible.
I'd also love to roll for my special friend and see if he made
Yes,
it
I
to
was
the
gonna
kitchen.
say.
Yes. When was
Yep,
the last
I
time
was
we
gonna
rolled for the
say-
guests?
Okay, roll for the special friend. What is a success? Like, what is
He
he
would
rolling?
really like to be in the kitchen, so I think lower is
Lower.
probably good for him.
Okay, yeah, give him a
Yes.
dexterity for making it into a kitchen. Just a regular roll.
It's just a 71, so not great.
Uh,
He might push himself. Like, if I'm thinking like this creature.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you can push. So let's give him a dexterity of, he's probably pretty dexterous, of 65.
Sure.
And if he can push it, but he's gonna cause a disturbance getting
If
into
he-
the kitchen.
yeah.
If he makes it.
Oh, failed worse.
Okay.
So you can say he comes out somewhere else if you want.
I think
like,
you
or
hear a
whatever.
really large thumping from upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Everyone sort of looks up. So do you have anything to do with this? I don't.
Honestly.
You looked up, and that was.
A lot of strange things have been happening. I may have something to do with this one. There is a non-zero chance.
Out of my kitchen.
Great to see you.
Truly great.
Truly great.
Come back later
Yes.
when this is not.
Yes. I'm gonna go figure out
I need to retire.
if I am responsible. Yes, I do not want you to lose your job. I will make sure you get nothing but glowing reviews. On Yelp. On Regency Yelp.
What a strange thing to say.
It's just a sheet of paper in the town square where you write nice things about
And
employees.
you yelp out.
Try to like see what the commotion
Are you
is,
gonna take the
essentially.
servant? Try to take the servant stare up here?
If Miss Chesterton will let me, but I think she's kind of like
Give me persuasion for going
okay.
up there.
I think I asked like, can I use?
Yeah.
Oh. You gonna take the roll?
I'm gonna take the roll.
Okay.
That's a 0. So.
Yep.
That's a 20.
Ooh,
Okay.
very
I
nice.
should say that over here, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
That's a 20,
She says.
which is a hard pass. For
hard
fast
pass.
talk.
Yeah. She says, "I didn't see you. None of you saw him? None of you saw him?
Yes, chef.
As long as you don't cause trouble, that's gonna be fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Bolts upstairs to try and investigate this sound and see if he finds.
Great. So you head up here. That's happening. So you are walking through. Let's briefly cut back to Sally and Anne. So Anne, you're walking arm in arm with Jane, and she's just sort of pointing, and that's my sister. And that's also my sister.
Miss Hester seems to be doing inexplicably well tonight. She's very popular.
I think she's putting on a brave face.
It's good to see that she's faring better than she was last night.
Yes, our brother was set on fire. She was almost set on fire.
Even
quite a lot.
before that, she seemed to be under a good deal of duress. I do hope whatever was causing it is.
Yes,
perhaps.
she wouldn't speak of it, but honestly, between you and me, her heart is easily wounded. I'm sure someone could have said anything to her at any point in the night and might have elicited such a response.
A sensitive soul, then.
As you say.
Can I roll psychology just kind of like get a read on her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
No. No, that's bad. Has Jane danced any of the dances at all?
She didn't dance any of the dances you saw, but she probably has danced a couple. But you didn't notice her with anyone notable. Various other gentry moving back and forth.
And what of yourself? Would you categorize yourself as your sister as well?
We are quite alike in spirit, I have to say, but...
There's nothing wrong with that. The world could do with some more sensitive souls.
I do admire Hester's willingness to sort of go out and dance. She's danced with so many wonderful people this night, and I've always been a little bit, I just feel a little bit shy. Everyone's so new, and everything is so glamorous, and simply don't want to step wrong, you understand?
Of course, absolutely. Is there anything I could do to help you in that regard?
Oh, well, maybe you were so determined when you went and saved my brother and Miss Potts. Do you have any advice for how to be similarly determined, such as yourself? Just really go for it.
All of the advice that just popped into Anne's head is so, she has the thought and then immediately recognizes you can't say that out loud to someone. So you can't say out loud to someone, oh, the key is to just not care what happens to you. The key is to think of everybody's life as more important as your own. And so says, well, I think the matter really is to look to those that you wish to be more like, and even if you do not find those qualities in yourself, if, actions can change the inside, I suppose is the meaning of it. So by doing, you change your ability, you increase your ability to do. So by mimicking behavior, that behavior sort of becomes a part of you. And so, to find ones that you admire, mirror them.
I'm afraid there's no more tapestries for me to throw around here, but I shall do my best, Miss Waldron. Is there anything that I can do for you?
I must admit, I am often a bit overwhelmed in these settings myself. Might you know of any quiet places in the house that I could perhaps pop to at times when I get a bit...
Well, the library's quite quiet, and everyone's very respectful of the books. They just seem to ask for quiet, But the farther one goes from the ballroom, the quieter it is, I find.
Very true. I don't really know what else to ask her, but she seems so normal that I think Anne just kind of gives it's lovely to meet you, Miss Hillgrove.
Likewise, I can't ask someone to dance, but I think I should go stand and look available, and then say yes if anyone asks me.
Very good.
Yes,
Yes.
Thank you, Miss. Yes, thank you.
You've got this. You are.
I do have this. Yes.
You are a strong, capable young lady.
I will believe that until it is true.
Exactly.
Yes. All right.
Affirmations.
What a lovely word. I feel affirmed. Alright, so you and Jane does indeed go stand around looking available. Is there anywhere you want to go directly from there?
Jessica did mention that there was a secret passage in the library.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I can go check out the library.
Alright, you're just gonna go to the library?
Yeah.
Alright. As we walk past the library,
Is that the only exit?
there is another exit. I think, though, that you're gonna have to give me a spot hidden to notice that he's there and avoid him.
Okay. 19!
Yes, you do notice Robert Hargrove sitting in the corner as you
Fan.
as you go there. You put on your fan and you just block him as you go by. As you walk by, you can hear you say, "Man,
Keep moving.
and he's gone. It's too late. All right, yeah. So you head over to the library.
He's gonna have to be a lot more determined than that if he wants to talk to me.
Surely.
He sort of, very surreptitiously tries to grab your attention. But yeah, so you go to the library. You see a couple of other people here, and you don't recognize this person. I don't think you would have met Susanna. But you see a couple of people kind of browsing the shelves gently. It's quite an extensive library. It does look as if there used to be many like first edition sets of things, and it looks like some of them have someone has gone through and picked out the most valuable ones and sold them off, and then bought some of the more current volumes. So it really has the effect of someone trying to update a library, but not with a fundamental misunderstanding of what is valuable in a library.
Oh no.
Got it. Could I peruse the books, perhaps, for something on botany?
On botany, yeah, absolutely. Give me a. Do you have a library skills?
Yes.
Yeah, give me that.
That's a 1, baby.
Okay.
Hell yeah! Okay, cool. So you're looking through the books on botany, and you go to the places where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And this library is fairly well organized if you're familiar with the library system. So you go to where and it's not that there aren't many books, it's that there are none. There are no books on botany whatsoever. It's completely missing from this library.
It's rather unusual.
And you would know a couple of like common names for books. Like essentially, if you were to see these books again, you would recognize that they had been taken from the shelves.
Yeah.
It seems like someone has systematically removed any books on botany here.
Got it. Can I investigate this space for like evidence of maybe who has removed them or how recently they've been removed?
Yeah, it seems like someone has just taken these more of like, these are the books I like, you know, or it's hard to tell exactly why these have all been taken. But it doesn't look like they were like removed in the past couple of days, sort of with the intent to conceal necessarily. Let's see that. You do see, as you're looking through the library, and you were up at the mechanism for the booby trap, the chandelier, and so you see the same kind of elaborate motif going up the bookshelves, and you notice one of them, in fact, is not fully carved, but it is a small circular button, very similar to that. Kind of leading to one of the shelves, kind of wrapping around the shelf.
Are there any windows in the library?
Yeah, there's one like right here. There's one or two.
I'm just gonna like peek out a window to try to get a line of sight to like where, if there were a door were to open up where that button is, like sort of where it would let out, and if it seems like there's anything out there of note.
You know that there's the grounds that wrap around here. So like the hedges and stuff kind of wrap around here, but there's nothing. It looks more like an escape route than it does a path that leads to something else.
There's too many people in here for me to open up a secret passageway. So, but that is very interesting. And I think I'm just gonna kind of like try to wander the parlors and the curio room again, see if I can find. Probably not, but like just keep an eye out for these missing books.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't super see anything. Are you gonna go through the dining room?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll pass him that. Here we go. Yeah.
And this room is empty.
There's no one in it right now. Yes.
Yes. I'd like to put my ear to the wall to see if I can hear anyone in the secret passage.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a listen.
That is a pass. Just a regular pass.
Yeah, there's no one in there right now, but you do know that like the servants do come in and out fairly regularly, but like you're okay for right now.
Okay. I'm gonna go into the secret passage because I know servants usually know a lot more than people think. So I will go into secret passage and see if I can eavesdrop on the kitchen.
You're trying to eavesdrop on the kitchen this way?
Does she see me or the stairs at the end of that passage?
We can reveal these because the stairs essentially they're like right here and they'd come up here. So if you poked your head in the kitchen, perhaps, and I think, Bones would have gone upstairs by the time you go here. But you definitely could. Can you give me a stealth check?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that stealth, you don't need the listen check, so you can get close enough to hear them. You can hear servants questioning Miss Chesterton about Jonathan and who was Bones, and the macaws were quite enough last night. Do we need to be concerned? Miss Fenton's gonna throw us out faster if we're causing any kind of scene. We just need to know what's going on. It's just that thing back and forth. And a lot of, it's gonna be fine. If anything happens, they'll blame it on each other, not us. Just get to the food. It's gonna be okay. So you understand that Bones has gone upstairs.
Okay.
As
I
of now-
don't want to stay in here too long and maybe get found. So, I guess I'll head out of the secret passage and wait for an opportunity to slip upstairs.
So give me a stealth check.
19.
Nice. Cool. There.
Yes.
Slash salad.
I'm going to say hello as I'm being introduced to Spencer.
Yes. Oh, hello. Yes, Miss Hargrove.
It's so lovely to make your acquaintance.
Sorry. Oh, Miss Gilbert. Yes.
Thank you so much for throwing this ball, or rather your family is throwing this.
Yes, I really can't claim credit. I'm really facilitating the afternoon, the evening, as it were.
Of course. So modest, too. How are you enjoying, your new home?
It is a change, to be sure, but, when fortune smiles, you must allow fate to follow.
Of course. It is quite a boon, though, isn't it? Where were your family before this?
Well, we had a reasonably well-appointed place in Oxfordshire, but, certainly nothing as grand as this. More of a... I don't want to do it a disservice by describing it, but suffice to say, not nearly as grand as Redworth.
Are you quite excited to be inheriting such a property? Or I imagine it must be a bit overwhelming.
Well, surely one doesn't like to think of their parents passing, so...
just your family in general.
My family in general. Well, the king laid out the inheritance as God intended, I'm sure, so... I certainly would feel no guilt about taking it on. I understand that it wasn't as smooth a transition for the Willoughbys as one would have liked, but estate law is sort of as estate law is. I think it's actually kind of an interesting case if you really get into the nitty-gritties of it. Are you interested in case law yourself?
Oh, I've never thought much about it, but you seem rather interested. I'll let him just go on.
Yeah, he takes that as an invitation. He just continues to talk.
Does he seem just genuinely oh, well, this is where I'm at now, I guess.
Give me a psychology or an intelligence roll. You want to do a hard intelligence?
I'll take the psychology. Yeah.
Hard psychology.
Yeah, Spencer Fenton is not a ton of fun.
Yeah.
He takes being the inheritor of this property seriously, and it's honestly a good thing that he did inherit this property because the family's holdings beforehand were not really worth the amount of effort and attention to detail he was going to pay them. But yeah, he considers the heir being the heir apparent to this property seriously, and he seems committed to learning and doing his duty. He's very, very tall.
That's fine. I'm gonna, like, can I do a little arm and, like, maybe walk about this space a little bit? I'm gonna, like, casually try to meander closer to Leopold.
Yeah. He, as long as you're talking to him and looking interested, you could steer him anywhere.
That's like it's sort of the vibe I was getting. Okay, great. And I'm gonna laugh much too loud.
Leopold's suddenly looking like a catch.
Yeah, so you can meander over there.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
You see Leopold, like, noticing you and looking back and forth between you and Hester, but currently not doing anything.
Okay, I'm not gonna even look at him. I'm just gonna...
You see Leighton also sort of standing there and looking.
It's like a disco ball.
So bad.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, he is, and the chandelier has not been repaired. They have sort of borrowed a chandelier from a less well-appointed estate nearby.
He's the chandelier
so
now.
He is the shiniest thing in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I love him so much.
My
sweet brother.
And you can see him trying to catch the attention of Miss Hester, and then Leopold just, like, cutting it off at every opportunity. And so there's this neat little eye triangle going on here.
I don't even need him to do that anymore.
Yeah, so you're doing that.
Yeah, if I can, like, also, Spencer takes me as the type of person who will accept just, oh, wow, yes,
Absolutely.
And as I'm doing that, can I be trying to listen a little bit behind me?
To who are you trying to listen to?
Whatever Hester and Leopold are talking about.
Hester, they're doing this sort of thing of Hester saying, oh, well, that's so lovely. I think I might go speak to, and Leopold being, oh, no, of course. But just one more thing, you know, and that's going back and forth. But you get the sense, like, Leopold is not having a good time either.
Okay.
They are both weirdly trapped in this miserable interaction.
Yeah.
It's not going so well.
Okay.
Can I... Is it like... I want to try to get myself and you, if you want to go, upstairs.
Oh.
Is that something you're up for?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you find an opening, yes.
I think I might have one. Okay, so I want to walk into... Well, I want to grab some, like, little cakeys and some little hors d'oeuvres and some little bribes, and I want to walk with a little plate to Leighton.
Yep.
And say, brother, darling, I brought you some of your favorites.
Ooh!
I brought you some lovely wine. It's a very good year. It's lovely Merlot. I've brought you some little cakeys, some little sandwiches.
They've got icing sugar, like colored icing sugar.
They do, isn't it pretty? It's lovely, right? I brought this for you because I
They
love you
match me.
so much. Oh, they do! Look at you. Oh, I should draw you. Oh, you're so wonderful. I just want to tell you
What
how
do
much
you
I
want?
appreciate it. Okay. I would love for you to go to the... I would love for you to take as much attention as you could away from the entrance hall. And if you could possibly get Mr. and Mrs. Fenton away from the stairs so that if anything were to happen around the stairs, no one would notice.
Delightful.
Just make a bit of a scene, a bit of a flash. Did I mention you look wonderful?
I will go ask Miss Fenton to dance.
Thank you so much.
2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks.
Oh, at this point you're pushing 3, darling. I don't care how much time you take away. This is too much fun.
Leighton says, careful. Don't remember your words, but I will remember those words.
You can have as much time as you want. I can write back to the fans. We have remarkably similar handwriting.
I do like the fan mail. It's the only thing that I do like.
I'll have it forwarded. Go somewhere.
That's right.
Leighton goes off.
Great.
He grabs Isabel and does a whole, oh, but I'm sure everyone would love to dance. No, you've been here quite long enough. I could have the honor. Yes, No, come on. We all must dance together. Make it an occasion.
Yes, God, I love my brother. And then walk over to Miss Mary.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to trouble both of you, but Miss Mary, I was wondering if I might have a word with you for a moment.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, Spencer, do you mind?
Oh, well, I was just getting to the really interesting intricacies between Fenton versus Hubert. And really, it was just an interesting thing because there was so much precedent that one of them had favor with the king. And of course, we must always... But, I'm sorry, yes, of course.
Give me one moment. I shall return. Would you like a drink, perhaps? I'll come back.
I would love one. That would be so courteous, yes.
Oh, lovely. I'll be back in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Okay, goodbye.
Mr. Fenton, was it?
Yes. Are you also interested in case law?
Oh, not at all, but as a matter of fact, I heard. What's, is it Robert? Hargrove.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I actually overheard Mr. Robert Hargrove speaking in absolutely rapt detail about case law, and I'm sure he would love to hear all about it.
Oh, I heard that as well.
He's very interested. I think you should go tell him about it. I'm sure he would be fascinated to find out
Could you
more.
perhaps point it out to me? I don't
Oh, yes, he's right over there.
Well, why, thank you. There's just so few people who are so interested in case law.
Oh, I imagine
Miss
you could...
Gilbert aside, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll find you momentarily. But don't worry yourself if you're in a very interesting conversation with Mr. Hargrove.
I'm sure you could talk to Mr. Hargrove for hours about case law, and he would never get bored.
I shan't interrupt.
Takes a beeline. Like,
He will definitely get bored.
he's
I just
happy,
want him to suffer a little bit.
He's happy to talk to you sort of as a gentleman, but this is so much more interesting.
Oh, God.
Immediately. Oh, thank God. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it seemed like you could use a bit of a rescue.
That was honestly insufferable.
Would you like to sneak upstairs and try to steal some things?
I would love that.
Let's go.
Has Anne already made it upstairs?
Yeah, I was about to say, once I see Leighton
Yeah.
kind of taking over, I want to go through the parlor.
God bless my brother, man. He's really clutch. He deserves 3 weeks.
Just while I'm going through, anything going on in the parlor?
In the parlor, no. It looks like empty right now.
Oh, bless.
When you make it up, Anne, I think Bones catches you from the end of the hallway and it's like, Miss Waldron.
Hurry, very light of foot.
And you come down and he says, Miss Waldron, I fear I'm about to attract a great deal of attention.
Could you
hold
possibly
on
not?
to these.
Oh, okay, yes.
Guard them with your life.
Right.
And do not tell a soul that you have them.
All right, stuffs them into her
Read
reticule.
them if you find the opportunity, but don't let anybody see them. They are young Miss Hester Hillgrove's letters to Jonathan Apple. Hold on to them. I have to see about our guest for the evening. I heard a noise up here.
All right.
I'll catch up with you in a minute.
Do you have any recommendations about a place I could go not to be found?
Yes, come with me.
As you're walking through the parlor here, and there's like some tall shelves, and you see up on the very top of one of the shelves, the guest.
I think that Bones is in the process of like leading Anne like by the hand. Honestly, he's like, we gotta move quickly, and then stops and looks up, and you see out of like Bones's peripheral vision at the top of one of these like bookcase style things, there is a little chunky raccoon.
Oh, yes!
In a little suit, a very dashing suit, that has gotten his hands on some little like biscuit sweeties, and it's just like,
Oh, beautiful.
In his little
Gorgeous.
hands.
and Bones is like, do not make eye contact with the raccoon. Miss Waldron, there is down the hall, on the left, there is an office. In that office, there is a secret study. Go to that study, read those letters. I will come fetch you after I've dealt with this.
Is it likely to attack?
Potentially, it can be quite vicious. Its teeth are very sharp.
It's so deceptive. It's terribly adorable.
Yes.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. And she's like really working hard to like keep eyes on the ground.
Eyes forward.
Eyes forward, and heads to the office.
Have
and
we
the secret
come up
study.
the stairs and catch them in a hall?
I think there's been enough going on that this conversation, like, I think that you would catch maybe Bones if you were walking through. I don't think you see Anne.
Okay.
Actually, give me a luck check for like
Let's see how
that
far
house,
along.
I think it kind of go either way.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you should do it.
13.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yes.
So you walk where the two people?
We're back that way.
At the door.
Here we go. Yes. So you walk up here, and you basically see Anne ducking into the office.
Oh.
And you, do they also see
Yeah, I think they like
Bones
see
in the
both-
review?
Miss Bones, you quite all right?
Miss Blackwell, don't look up. Whatever you do not.
Oh my god, she looks up immediately. With that level of curiosity, no.
You look up, and this raccoon is just,
Oh, hello.
and then loses its shit.
Precisely.
So sorry.
It starts running around the top of all of the bookcases.
You can't
just
tell her not to do something and expect it.
It's exactly what he would have done.
Sally's like, oh no, and I'm gonna scurry down the hall.
Um,
Follow Miss Waldron. I'll take care of this.
Oh,
Follow Miss Waldron.
my god, I'm so sorry to
And
see
he's
you.
calling your
No,
name. He's like,
I've got it. Nigel!
Are you quite sure?
Nigel!
Nigel's outside.
I know, I'm just hoping he's in earshot. It's very
Trying to catch
unlikely.
it.
I've got it. Follow Miss Waldron. It's
All right.
yes, I've got it.
I'm so sorry.
And Bones takes off like the outer layer of like furs and stuff, and is gonna be like climbing up bookcases to try and chase this raccoon.
no.
Great. So you guys run into the office. Your shouting has immediately called these two
Yeah.
footmen up
Yeah.
here.
I'm
That sounds
so
right.
sorry.
They're just
Anne throws Lenora and Sally into the secret study and like locks the door behind them.
Yes.
Oh god. Does Bones not have time to hide?
Definitely
No.
not.
No,
I'm atop
Bones-
of
I don't think
bookcase.
Bones has an intention
No.
of hiding.
I think Bones and the raccoon look at the footmen at the same time, like stop their chase. It's like,
Can I also make a suggestion that you're in your Davy Crockett
Yeah,
outfit?
yeah.
You're wearing a raccoon
100%.
hat.
oh yeah.
Okay, and both raccoons.
Just a double.
Hello, gentlemen. I was just training our guest for the big show.
they look at each other.
Books are everywhere. Like this room's fucked.
Can we perhaps escort you and your guest outside? This is out of limits for guest one, and
Sure.
also
I would mind you that don't make eye contact with the raccoon, for it will start moving rather erratically again, and I have nearly reached it. I am not looking at it.
what, pray tell, is a raccoon?
Now, imagine a mouse, but bigger, and with a long striped tail, and the little hands of a person.
So a cat, but that is one that has been accursed by God?
Correct.
It's a
And
cat
then-
that has gone into crime.
I-
Little mouse.
I guess I'll try to like grab the raccoon, like
Okay.
as I'm like
So
sort
we've
of like
established the
slow
dexterity
approaching it.
of the raccoon is 65. So this is an
Yeah.
opposed
My
dexterity
dexterity
roll.
is 85. Bones is pretty spry.
Right, alright,
Ooh,
so
there it is.
opposed dexterity rolls here.
It's a 72.
77.
Seven.
Yeah, so you make that. You do.
Put a finger up.
Bones has rabies now.
Probably.
I think Bones has had rabies.
Bones has had
He's
rabies.
the only survivor.
Bones is the discovery of rabies. And he's like, gentlemen? And he just goes to leave the room like he didn't do anything wrong with this little baby. Not baby, but like baby.
It is baby.
I think they follow Bones wherever Bones is going. They don't know what to do. They just know you need not to be left unattended.
I think as they're walking, Bones is like, now, why did you get out of the cage? You like the cage. I give you lots of good food, and I give you this little outfit, and don't look at me like that. And Bones is going to try and find Nigel to, like, Now. I understand. I'm sorry. Let's go find Nigel.
So you guys head out. You going outside then?
Yeah, I'll go find
Okay.
Nigel outside just to also, like, get the footmen off my case. And...
Yeah, the footmen are probably not going to let you back in.
That's fair.
Yeah, you've gone out of your own volition. They close the doors. They straight up close the doors.
Right. That sounds right.
Yeah, no, like, if you had Jessica, possibly, but you've You've gone.
Sure.
Great. All right, so you three show up to the library. You see the ghost traces of what you've been told about this man writ large in this room, in the books around the study, in the paintings on the wall. It feels very much like the ghost of Bolter Willoughby is kind of in the room with you.
Except not the actual one.
Does
that
it
one's
smell like hemlock?
Yeah.
It smells like very, like maybe a little, but like a stale, dried hemlock.
Do
Okay.
these smell like hemlock?
No.
I think looking around for ink, right? Like,
Yeah. So you're looking for ink?
I will assist.
You assist. You're looking at the letters.
Yeah, Anne starts to pull out the letters. Gives them a sniff.
should we do something? We probably ought to wait a few minutes and then throw something
yes,
out
I
a
wouldn't-
window to get Mr. Bones back upstairs.
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
Right. I might pop round for some ink and then go try to help Mr. Bones get back up here. It was sort of my
So
fault that he ended
you're-
up gone.
So you look on the desk, and you find, sitting on the desk, an inkwell.
That is literally why my character's last name is what it is. That's pretty fun.
That's cool.
I love this.
Oh my goodness.
This is really something. Bit afraid to open it.
It's fine. You can open it.
No, like
Oh,
in
yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I believe this might be.
Can we smell anything from the outside?
Yeah. Can I just give like a very light
Yeah.
sniff from outside?
Yeah, you see, it definitely smells instantly recognizably of...
I do believe we've found our murder weapon. There's hemlock in the ink. My brother writes extensively about poisoning in that, and it seems to be hemlock. Smell fits the description and everything.
Right.
All the books on botany have been removed from the library.
Oh.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's fascinating. Any ideas to when?
It's quite difficult to tell. It doesn't seem like it was recently. But
Interesting.
Somebody got some ideas.
if we can keep an eye out, perhaps if we find those books, it might lead us to who removed them.
I believe we were quite interested in having a pop around all of upstairs if we can get it, so we can certainly keep an eye out for some books.
Yes. Look around for books.
I also
Yeah.
have
In here
these
too.
letters to look through that Mr. Bones
Oh.
Lovely.
handed off to me for fear they would be found on him.
Would you like to read those? I don't know if you want to look for books. I'll try to get Mr. Bones back upstairs.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll look around for some books, and I suppose the drawing room is as good a place as any to start.
Okay, absolutely. If you want to sneak around.
There is also, if you were willing to chance going back downstairs, a secret passage to the outside in the library, just behind where the botany books should be. There's a button. Perhaps Mr. Bones could be let into the house that
Oh.
way.
That's useful. All right. Ta-ta.
And
You're sneaking downstairs?
I think Nigel and Bones and the raccoon are all just sitting on the front step, closing, just in a line of three, and Bones is like, well, Nigel, we finally got kicked out.
They're all like one.
They're all just sitting 1, 2, 3.
The raccoon.
Yeah.
The raccoon.
You see Zachary, like, kind of peep around the hedge. Like, he's been, like, walking around the hedges. It's like, when the footmen aren't looking, it's sort of...
if
I'll stop behind the
get
hedge.
Zachary into the house too.
Alright, so you can see, Lenore, from the window, you can see this tableau unfolding.
Wonderful. All right, I just take a little mental picture and then walk to the library
Alright.
and open the little thing.
So there are 3 people in the library with you.
Oh.
Yes, so...
Oh dear, is it starting to smell like smoke in here?
Give me persuasion.
I light something on fire.
I mean, yes.
No, it's the library, but I gotta have like a little matchbook or something. Like
Yeah, there's
some-
definitely like candles you could stick something
Yeah.
small in.
Oh God. I think Lenora takes out like a bit of her notebook or something, like that she's just got, rips out a blank page, and holds it to a candle, and is just like, "Dear me, is it starting to smell like smoke in here?"
You
After all the events of last night.
Are you attempting to conceal that you were burning something while
Yeah.
asking?
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
I take it and just toss it over there for a second,
Okay.
and then I'm like, something's amiss. Maybe we should get out of here.
You can hear so these people like, and it's a small room, and smoke will fill a room fairly quickly.
Right.
Even if it's not like the thing isn't going to burn for very long. And you can see the three of them immediately turn to go, and they start yelling about a fire.
No,
Fire! No, fire! No! There's.
Oh, I think I found it. Shit. Oh, no, don't worry. I found the source. We're fine. Look at this. I think one of the books got caught on the candles, so I think everything's actually fine. I put it out.
We're fine.
Everything's
Sorry,
fine.
it's fine.
Everything's fine.
No fire. No fire.
Shit.
And
Everything's fine.
Leighton, Isabel, and
God, I made it so much worse. I'm so sorry.
come in.
Everything's fine. It looks like one of the books got caught in the candles.
Oh, sorry, sister, are you all right? I mean...
Oh, yes, I'm quite all right. I had quite a fright. You may want to move some of the books away from the candelabra.
Oh, of course, let's go. Yes, of course. And you see Isabel and Hubert start immediately doing that.
Oh, no, it's... yes.
More performative than anything, but just... They don't want any intimation that the night is going to be a disaster again.
No, certainly not. And, I'm so sorry about that. I just had a little accident. But it should be fine, and then, maybe, we should probably all clear out of the room until the smoke is gone anyway.
Yes, of course. Sorry, Mrs. Fenton. I'm still desiring of that dance with you, Miss Fenton. My sister will be quite fine if we just gotta clear the room. Yes, of course. I'm
so sorry.
So don't be sorry, sister. Just calm your nerves.
Oh, I'm feeling hysterical.
Oh no. Just take a deep breath.
It smells like smoke.
Oh yes. Take a small breath.
Wonderful. There's no fire. Everything's fine. Everything's wonderful.
So Leighton shepherds the rest of the
Jesus
Fentons, and the rest of them also do leave, kind of following the Fentons.
In the worst possible way. I'm so sorry. It worked. Oh man, I didn't realize fire. I don't know what my brain was like. Yeah, whatever. You can just have a fire. And then I find this stupid little button. I think Lenore's like, oh god, that was clumsy. And then presses the little button, opens the door, and just goes.
Nigel, do you hear the North African pigeon?
I don't think I've ever rightly heard a North African pigeon.
Hold on. Wow, that was impressive. I cannot do that back.
I was doing stupid little bird calls out.
Mr. Footman, I think you may have a rare bird around the side of the house. Would you mind if I go check it out? Thank you so much. Nigel, if you could put our friend back in his cage once he's finished with his sweetie, I will go around and investigate this bird, and he's on his way to do it.
Nigel, you're still holding this raccoon.
On double lock, Nigel.
Yes, sir. We'll make that same mistake again, will I? Will I now?
He's got little hands.
Yes, you've got hands, but no conscience. God gifted you handable digits, but no soul, did they?
Oh my god.
Nope. You care not for the ruin you leave behind, ye masked bandit.
Oh my god. Nigel's got beef with this raccoon.
Yeah. The raccoon's just...
Yeah. Just underneath the armpits, this raccoon. Not a care in the world.
Just vibing.
Still
so
in its
cute.
little suit. The footman, as long as you're not trying to get inside.
I wouldn't dream of it, sir.
Immediately goes inside.
Comes around and I soon find you
Smoke
poking your
pouring
head out.
Listen, I'm so sorry. I may have caught a bit of a fire in the
Oh,
library.
Miss Blackwell, the evening wasn't exciting enough yet.
No.
Good show.
Oh, thank you so much. Come on in.
You see Zachary also pop his head over the hinge.
Zachary, my boy, why don't you come inside?
Sure.
No, I'm not sure, but it will be fun, won't it?
Zachary trusts you that you have a plan.
Ooh, big mistake.
I did that the way upstairs quick.
Terribly sorry about the animal incident. It's quite cute.
I create most of my own problems.
That's That's all right, but I shouldn't have looked, and I probably shouldn't have set fire to the library.
That's all right.
But, here we are.
Did you abandon Miss Waldron and Sally to the secret study?
Sure did.
All right, shall we return?
Absolutely. All right.
Alright, so we'll leave you trying to sneak back. As this is happening,
I'm investigating.
Sally,
I
let's
guess you're
pop back to
reading.
Sally. We'll do like a letter in a room. How about that? That'd be fun. So you look in the parlor, you see an enormous number of books. Sally probably can read decently well as a barmaid, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. You see this is more of like a smoking relaxation parlor, so there's, another like bar cart and some left with decanters, comfortable chairs, a big fireplace, more of an entertaining room, like a private entertaining room.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna skim around and see through the books that are around. Maybe some of the ones the raccoon threw.
Yeah, give me a library check or an education check.
Well, the other one is intelligence. You said
Education.
Education is okay. Actually, I rolled well though, so I don't know what would be better, but I got a 17, which passes.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, you see, this is the exact opposite of what you're looking for. In fact.
Okay.
This looks like a lot of books that Hubert, or maybe even Isabel, a lot of like popular fiction, a lot more like hunting, sporting. There looks to be a large section on like essentially the learn to run your own estate for dummies of the day. A lot of sort of people trying desperately to quickly learn all the things they're going to need to actually be successful in the life that they are trying to live.
Okay. And so there's nothing in here that looks quite right. I would like to maybe pop into a bedroom.
Yes.
I can't really tell from the outside which would be the primary.
Alright, let me actually write down whose bedrooms these are before you go into them. Just so I can remember. Cool. Which bedroom are you going to go into?
I would just say that if it looks like there's 2 doors over here and there's another door over here.
You see 2 doors this way and 2 doors this way and a door, and you would have seen a door here.
I'm going to go to the one nearest the office first.
Nearest the office. Okay, excellent. As you're doing that, Anne, you are reading these letters.
Just got them in order.
Just got them in order. All right, and you do have the translation if you wish to.
Okay. Dear Mr. Applewood, I hope you will not take this as too forward if I sent this letter before receiving one from you. Mother is in a fine mood, although she refuses to speak of why. I can only imagine that Mr. Willoughby is to blame. I know that you are awfully fond of him, but in my heart I cannot help but resent his attitude towards my family and his inability to not at least try to understand our circumstances. Hopefully they will be able to mend their fences and we will return to Redworth. Oxfordshire seems dreary in comparison. In fondness, Hester Hillgrove. Next is January 20th. Dear Jonathan, I hope that you are well. After your last letter, I've been eagerly anticipating your response to my own. I can only assume that the weather has delayed it. Perhaps it is foolish, but the eagerness of your reply has only encouraged my own foolish heart. In deepest fondness, Hester Hillgrove. February 8th. Dear Jonathan, I have just heard the awful news about Mr. Willoughby. I know that you cared for him greatly, and even at his advanced age, it is simply tragic. I hear that the Fentons are to inherit, and although you are surely anxious on behalf of Mr. Colt, I hope that I can provide some comfort by saying they are gentlefolk of the highest calibre. They are distant neighbours of ours here in Oxfordshire, and I have never had cause to complain in our acquaintanceship or know of any who harbour ill feelings towards them. I am sure they will treat Redworth and all of its current inhabitants with the utmost propriety. I know that you must be grieving, and I do not wish to press you. Only I have heard no word, and have of course been unable to inquire beyond the most basic of generalities. Yours in sorrow, Hester. Which brings us to February 20th. Dear Jonathan, I have heard that the Fentons have departed for Redworth. Clearly they have decided to waste no time. I hope that I have not caused any offence in my last letter, only I have heard that the roads have cleared and can think of no further reason for delay. If there is aught I can do, please alert me. If you find that you no longer wish to remain in Redworth, I, perhaps selfishly, am sure that we could secure you a good position here in Oxfordshire. Yours in hope, Hester. And the last one, June 1st.
Yeah, that one.
Dear Mr. Applewood, I have no wish to intrude where I am unwanted, as I can only assume from your lack of response. However, my family and I are attending the Fenton's grand reopening of Redworth next month. I would consider it a kindness if we might speak, if only to lay my heart to rest. Sincerely, Hester Hillgrove.
He died like partway through those letters.
Pretty early on. Pretty early.
died
Like
after this.
the second one she mentions
That she's
that
already
she
dead.
mentions like Bolton.
that
Or
Willoughby's
the
dead.
third one she mentions Mr. Willoughby is dead, and he
Yeah.
died before
Yeah.
Mr. Willoughby.
So she didn't find out till she got here.
Yeah, and she didn't find out he was dead till she
Until she got
got
to the
here.
party.
That's rough.
So she was finding out in real time. That's why she was hysterical.
Dang.
Fuck. I think there's a moment as Anne is reading through these, recognizing the sort of desperation and fear of I haven't had a response and I don't know what's happening, and also a little feeling of jealousy as to the cause of that lack of response.
Come on. Continue with Sally,
Yeah, I'm
searching
just
the
gonna
bedrooms.
continue looking through.
Yeah, I think you haven't super alert, like with Bones going down, any suspicion up here has been alerted, so I think, or has been taken away from you guys.
I feel
think as-
confident.
Yeah, I think as long as you're quick. So you look in here, if you just give me an investigate. Spot hidden.
That is a pass.
Nice.
Yes, alright. Yeah, so you see, this looks to be the bedroom of Hubert and Isabel. You see kind of the signs of like a man and woman cohabitating. You see some of the similar books from here kind of put on the side of the table. But nothing that kind of catches your eye. Anne's going to take a second to read these letters. I think you'll probably get to these two bedrooms before she goes. Where you want to go?
In lieu of that, I'm going to double back and see if I can't make some sort of an assumption onto which room is Annette's over here.
Yep.
I'm going to try first, barring any sort of indicator. I'm going to do the corner room.
The corner room. Let's see, pop over here.
Maybe listen a little bit.
Yeah, give me a listen check.
Make sure nobody's actually inside or anything. No, I do not pass. I didn't hear shit.
You don't hear anything. There's a loud party going on below, lots of music and dancing.
I'm going to let myself in.
No feeling? Yeah. No one's in there? I don't see anyone in there. Give me an investigate check.
Spotted.
5!
Oh!
Yes! Can't stop, won't stop, Sally.
Yes.
Dope.
Alright. Yeah, on like a
Is
fucking
this Annette's room?
incredible this is absolutely Annette's room.
Oh, so good.
You not only see the books that were kind of the genre of books described to you,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
as you're looking around, you see these roll-top desks where you can sort of fold the top over a desk and it will kind of hide away all of the stuff that was in
hutch.
that. A hutch, yeah. And you can see it's been closed. As you open it, you see sort of an apothecary lab here.
Yeah.
You see
What does it smell like?
it smells like a lot of things.
Okay.
But that same acrid hemlock smell is definitely present. And you find several vials, including one very purple and similarly acrid smelling vial.
I think it's a mistake to take it out of the room.
There are several. There are more vials.
Oh, okay.
They're
Then I
like-
will take one.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's several. Yeah, so you can take that.
Oh my god.
Don't open it or drop it, please.
Okay.
And actually, they hold up to a
Real
lot,
hemlock in there.
but
I'm gonna. Okay, yeah. I'll leave it here in the middle in case. Okay, and do I see anything else? Any books or any? I mean, this is enough, but like, just peeking around and
you see a lot of spare gloves.
Okay.
You see a woman who reads a lot.
Is she a slight woman?
She's not slight, no, she's elderly.
Okay.
But she's kind of built of the same kind of sturdy Fenton stock.
Okay. I'm just like, I'm doing a very much like, do I take a glove? If the glove fits,
Yeah.
the glove doesn't fit. I don't know if like that's useful to take a glove.
I mean, there are a lot of gloves there.
Okay, I'm gonna take one of the gloves
Mhm.
as well.
Great.
Probably best to put one on before handling anything.
Yeah, that's also a good idea. And then I'm going to just get myself out of here as quickly as possible and scurry back over to the office area.
Great. Okay, so you meet back up with Anne, who's finished reading all these letters, and you can share any information you want to.
I think I fill her in on, Hester didn't even know that Jonathan had died until she got here, and it seems that the Fentons and the Hillgroves are better acquainted than we might have originally thought.
Fascinating. It occurred to me that perhaps none of the children are aware of what perhaps is going on. How much do we think everyone's involved? I may have found something.
Oh, good lord. Take a cloth and pick up the vial with it. Compare it to the...
Does it
Definitely the
feel
same
like,
purple.
if it dried and it feels oily, is this like quite viscous or like, it seems
With
to
the
be a
scent,
match.
it seems a match.
Yeah.
That's definitely hemlock then. Where did you find this?
I might have snooped into Annette's room.
Well, that is a smoking gun if ever there was one.
As you're saying that, what are you guys up to?
Well, I've set the room on fire, so I'm going to default. I'm going to default to you at this point. I'm not sure that I'm making the sharpest decisions currently.
I guess we'll sneak back upstairs.
Certainly.
To the study.
Absolutely. You can see them lining up for another dance, so you think you have until that's finished before people sort of break and there's a kind of some dinner happening soon. That sort of thing.
A little sneak. With Zachary.
Oh, we got Zachary.
You've got Zachary. Yeah. Like,
I think completely dispensing with formality. Hello, darling. What's your name?
Go ahead, Zachary. This is Lenora.
Zachary, yes.
Lenora, pleasure to meet you.
No last names.
Certainly not.
Not in this sort of business.
Do you guys go to the office?
I think we all regroup.
We're all regrouping.
It's rather cramped today.
It's very cramped.
Yeah, it's not a very
Sort of
large
breathing.
study. Like, he used the office for normal business. This was kind of bolter time.
Yeah.
We're all just
Bolter
shoved
time.
into the
Bolter
tiny
time.
part of the office. Mr. Rose, thank goodness I may return this to you now.
Miss Waldron.
I may have found something that will be quite alarming, and I do need everyone to keep a cool head.
Of course.
This was in the Dowager Fenton's bedroom.
Oh, bitch.
You guys have a vial of poison, ink that has similarly been poisoned, a suspected poisoner, and a tangled web of family connections. Sounds about right for the Regency era.
Yes.
And we're gonna call that tonight for Rogues and Romances. Catch you guys next time.